All right, hey everybody, it's Chris Jesty with another MRC March Mechness Round 2 episode this time around. I've got Pirate 44 joining me again. Say hi, Pirate.
How's it going, Justy? Hey, everybody in internet land.
All right, today we've got Matt again from Round 2 joining us. He allowed us to record his match for Round 2 this time around. I had a bit of trouble finding footage for Round 2. I can't always be everywhere at the same time, so I'll take any games I can get recording wise.
But who's he playing against?
This week he's playing against Raiden. Let's go ahead and get into the lobby and see what kind of list we got loaded up. There we go. All right, now we're in the lobby, and we can see we've got Raiden and Matt in the lobby. What have we got for us? You want to go through top down? Start with Raiden's list because he's up on top.
Sounds good. So first thing I noticed with Raiden's list is a pair of Nova Cats, and I forget which one is which here, but one of those I remember having nightmares about. Is that the A that's got the 4 ER large and the targeting computer?
That is correct. The A is a quintessential sniper coming in at 70 tons at 3-4 skill rating at a 3470 battle value.
And he's got upgraded pilots all through the list there, except for 4-4 and that assault helicopter, which I think is still upgraded, but we'll get to that in a minute. So he's got a deadly sniper Nova Cat. That B, if I'm remembering right here, that is the LRM boat, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think it's got 6 LRM 15s.
Brutal. Not familiar with that Pack Hunter 2, though.
If I remember correctly, it's just an ERPPC with legs and jump jets. It might have an active probe, if I remember correctly, in this particular model.
Yep, and record sheet here says, I'm liking that already. It has 2 hands. So you know what that means. It's fast. It's going to be pushing somebody off the map here.
And throwing fisticuffs left and right. Now you'll notice that there's 2 helicopters in this list. One of those is for marking purposes. The other, the Donner assault helicopter, is not.
So he's got a clan reinforced half star.
Yeah, and he will actually be representing Clan Novacat this week. I know some people asked what their master unit list factions were, and this week we found out. It's Raiden's playing for Clan Novacat, and Matt is playing for Clan Wolf. So let's go ahead and get into his list as well.
All right, so first up on the list there, I see Disco Stew rocking a Flashman 7. I remember this list from the last time we recorded, and I actually like this one. So that Flashman, yeah, it tanked hard.
Yeah, it did. The Flashman definitely put in some work. He had a unfortunate ejection last time due to an ammo explosion from his AMS ammo of all things. Laser boat with only AMS, and happens to hit the ammo.
You've gotta disable auto ejection in a competitive setting.
Yeah, Disco Stew's coming in at a 4-4, so a little bit lower on the piloting, but gunner's still about average.
Then Blood Reaper there. I really want to get that model if for no other reason than that thing tanked the crap out of was it Tweezer last week?
Yeah, it was against Tweezer, and it took forever to die. It suffered 2 ammo explosions, if I remember correctly, and still didn't go down for another 2 or 3 turns. Also, choice naming here again, Matt. Pass my prime on a dime. Love it. 4-5 piloting skill.
You name your pilots, and I see Matt did the same with rankings, but you name your pilots and you get +1 to all your checks. It's just basic math.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Next up, we have the deadly Ryukin B. This one's got the UAC 20, and I think a whole butt ton of medium ER medium lasers. We'll go through the record sheets individually shortly, but this is just a quick overview. Next up. Oh, wait, actually, sorry. Did you want to say anything about the Ryukin?
No, I was going to say the Ryokan is just a nice regular medium mech. Like, there's probably not a bad configuration. There's a bunch of probably substandard ones, but if you're not sure what to throw in a list, Rauken. I've never actually heard it pronounced officially. So in my head canon, it's Rauken if it's not a Stormcrow. But every time I pick one, I've always had good luck with it, regardless of the variant.
Oh, I always just default to Street Fighter pronunciation. It looks like Ryu and Ken put together.
There you go.
So he's coming in at 3-4 with a 3,011 battle value. Not cheap for this 3-4 Ryukin. And last but not least, for the mechs on Matt's Force, we have the Jenner 2C standard.
Well, it's definitely not last because you got, you said mechs. You got those elementals afterwards, which are just crit-seeking monsters.
Oh yeah, so the Jenner's got a lot of SRMs on it, if I remember correctly. It could jump pretty far, and the Elementals actually came in clutch for Matt last round. This week is going to be a little bit different. We do have an objective to go over for this match. We'll get into that once we get into placement, after we get through these record sheets. If there's anything, we'll go through the record sheets real quick, see if anything stands out to us that we might have missed off the top. But the battle armor are no joke. They're definitely deadly. They can get through the armor and cause an ammo explosion like they did last time.
Yeah, and I like this list because it's balanced. You've got some heavies up front, so you've got some anchors. You've got some Ryokin for the mid range, and the Jenner being a taxi and a nice little backstabber. I'm less happy just off the cuff with the this from Matt, or Raiden, sorry, only because it's kind of one shotty. Like you got 3 snipers.
Yeah, I don't know if I like his list, especially not for objective based match like this particular one. Granted, the Nova Cats are no slouch. We can get into the record sheets in a second here. But you've got 4 units to Matt's 5. Matt's a little bit more maneuverable between a bunch of his other units. Actually, I apologize. We're missing 1 more units on Matt's list, and it was one of the more important ones. It was a lightning attack hovercraft. It's just barely cut off. A quick little bugger at 1117 with I think a pair of medium pulse lasers and a SRM of some sort.
I mean, if you're a lightning attack hovercraft, you probably do want to get missed by all of the attention being placed on the mechs because that's where you're most lethal.
Exactly. That's right where you want to be. All right, let's take a look at this Nova Cat A. I know we've seen it before in episode 1 when Alderaan was playing Funk. Ooh. Okay, going a little bit quick there. Hang on, timeout. Let me go back a second. I don't know what the hell happened there. Okay, I guess we're going into Matt's list first. My apologies. All right, so I can always move this audio around. No big deal. Matt's got the Jenner 2C standard, 2 SRM6s, Streak SRM4, 914-7 movement profile, lightly armored clan light mech. Anything that stands out to you, Pirate?
Don't get hit. Like Jenners in general don't get hit, but XL Fusion Engine, isn't going to be a death sentence. But especially with NFL, where you don't necessarily get put in force withdrawal for 2 engine hits, but I mean, 6 points on the torso and 3 points on the arm. Speed, is valuable for the Jenner, but this really is the epitome of don't get hit at a 9-14-7 profile.
Yeah, you should be jumping 7 every chance you get, unless you can get into some woods to bump that TMM number up. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, next up is that Stormcrow B, 6'9 movement profile, UAC 20 in the left arm, and 6 ER medium lasers in the right arm. Only got 26 heat sinks though, so can't sync all of those simultaneously.
And if I'm reading that right, he's only got. So the ammo is hard for me to read. When it says ammo UAC 20, is that 5 shots per ton, or is that 5 double shots per ton?
Up top, the total says 10 shots, so that is 5 shots per ton for the AC-20 ammo.
So essentially, if you're like, hey, I'm a double fire and I want to shoot on 11s, you're going to be out of ammo before you can do anything with it.
Yeah, one thing to note, last round, we were wondering why Matt didn't fire his autocannon, and one thing that I didn't occur to me at the time, but it's an ultra autocannon. He may have rolled the jam the previous round and got stuck with 3 rounds in his ammo bin that he couldn't get rid of.
Ah, that's a good point. Because
Yeah.
you can, well, no, you can unjam a rack, but I don't think you can unjam an ultra, right?
No, you cannot. Once it's jammed, it's done for the rest of the game. It only jams on Snake Eyes, but it's still a 3% chance that'll happen, roughly.
Yeah, we won't get into Mega Mech and their stupid 2.76% chance of head clipping me every game.
Or failing mask on 3s.
Exactly.
All right, next up, there's that Flashman. Hopefully we can see him get to use more of those lasers and put him to good work this time around. Not bad.
Yeah, the other hidden potential besides only having AMS ammo and decent enough heat sinks to use that, all those lasers, is it's a 75 tonner. So it's going to be doing, what's that, a 15 damage kick? So you got a head clipper with basically pulse laser, -2 to hit there.
Yeah, definitely. Deadly in fisticuffs for sure due to that heavy tonnage. All right, let's get into the next one, which should be the Blood Reaper. There it is. 464 movement profile, 70 tons. It's actually lighter than the Flashman. Didn't feel like it last game, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's the standard battle value there at 2,600. But the fact is, if I saw this on a record sheet, I would be like, meh, double ER, PPC, and some ATMs. I'd rather take a Puma. But that thing can tank, and for sitting on an objective and just sniping at long range, I really like it.
Yeah, it can run and or jump every turn and fire both of those PPCs every turn and not overheat. You only have to worry about heat once you close to a shorter distance or you start opening up with some of those ATM 6s at a longer range, which I don't think you really need to, considering you have 2 ER PPCs to do damage for you at long range.
Those are called crit seekers.
Yeah, once you hit with the ER PPCs a little bit, then you can switch to the ATM 6s. All right, let's get into the next one, which should be, there we go, the Lightning Attack Hovercraft. Royal variant, mind you.
So I'm curious on his choice of this. 2 medium pulse lasers, that pretty cheap BV there, and 2 streak 2s. I mean, at a 17 flanking speed, that is a nice backstabber, but the tag keeps throwing me off because there's nothing in his list that uses tag. So I'm thinking, could there have been something else he would have used? But maybe tag is just a freebie, or maybe this has a master C3 that's not used.
Possibly. The tag, I don't think there's a Master C3 on this, but the tag itself isn't terrible. I mean, it only takes up half a ton, if I remember correctly, so it's not the biggest loss, especially on a 35-ton hovercraft, which is moving 1117. You mainly want it for those 2 medium pulse lasers in the rear arc of something, and then those 2 streaks, those two streak 2s to go crit seeking with. So it's efficient enough to do its job at 633 battle value. I can't complain with a little extra cost for tag. Maybe shave off 25 points for the tag.
Maybe. And if the weapons were in a turret instead of the front mounted, I'm not sure if that makes it more susceptible. I haven't played enough hovercrafts to really know. But having to spend 3 of your movement to turn after you go behind somebody for a backstab,
Yeah,
I like this for what it is. But of course, I'm always going to go, well, if it was an Atlas, it would have a, ultra autocannon 20 and all that.
yeah. Or if it was a Pegasus, it would have this weapon and yeah. But not bad for the battle value. And who knows, it may be all they have on the Clan Wolf list.
True enough.
All right, let's get into the battle armor he's bringing. There we go. This time, nope, that's still the wrong battle armor. Whoops, moving along.
Nothing to see here. We're just going to keep going.
Yep, AP Gauss battle armor, elementals, fire type, 576 battle value at 4.5. That's all you really need to know.
Well, and it's called Cornholio, so I mean, come on.
Yeah, how could we forget?
But I like AP Gauss on elementals, and I like the Jin with David Gauss rifles as well because they have a little more range. But again, those are for crit seeking. So it's like, oh, your mech has some exposed torsos. Well, if I hit you, I get like 5 times however many chances of poking your armor with one instead of just a medium laser or something for the same BV.
Yeah, definitely. Something to watch out for. We'll see how he utilizes them. This is an objective scenario, which we'll get into shortly. Let's take a look at Raiden's list. First up should be the Pack Hunter.
Yeah, this is another mech that I'm like, I don't like it. It's just an ERPPC on a light mech. But then again, it has double hands, so you have a lot more strategic options. It jumps 7, so you can move around quite quickly. That ERPPC on objective games means you can still fire at long range and sit, but no, you don't really want to do that when you have all that speed. But digging into the sheet here, it's actually pretty decent. Those is that 4 ER micro lasers in each torso as well?
That is correct. So that's 8 total ER micro lasers for a total of 16 damage if they all hit.
Then, another crit seeker in the rear.
He does only have 22 heat sinks, so he's going to be hard pressed to jump and fire the ERPPC. He'll be able to do that, but he won't be able to fire anything else without starting to build up heat, which, something you can mess around with as a clan mech with 22 heat sinks.
You're right. I didn't see those are. I'm so used to my Zeals and their improved jump jets. I forget regular jump jets are kind of limited.
Yeah, so he's got enough to fire the PPC every round and jump for 7, which is more than likely what he will be doing every turn. If, luck holds out and he doesn't get legged. Not a bad, quick little objective runner. Let's get into the next one. Here we go. Here's the sniper. Not much to say about it. 4 ER large lasers and a targeting computer at a 464 movement profile. Not a bad sniper.
Oh, the way you play that is obvious. You get on a hill in woods behind a level 1 cover and somewhere a couple hexes out of your deployment zone, and you just dominate from that single spot.
Yeah, the disgusting range on the ER large is 8, 15, and 25. Oof, that is nasty.
The way you beat this, though, in any line of sight direct fire weapon, is line of sight. So great, if you can see me, I'm dead. So I'm just going to make sure you don't see me, and I'm just going to jump, get in heavy woods, which aren't swamps. I think I heard a giggle from Carbon just there, but also just making sure that you're behind cover until you can get closer.
A bad memory with the swamp there, pirate?
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm very used to various shades of green on the map now, but we'll see.
All right, next up should be the Nova Cat B. There it is. This is a 4.6 jump. There's the 6 LRM 15s, and it's got 2 ER medium lasers, so it's got a little bit of a backup weapon just in case.
Well, because you got to add insult to injury, because those LRM 15s are more than enough. But yeah, I like that he didn't just take 2 of the same unit. This one, at least you can shoot indirectly. So if you were able to see something like, I don't know, the next unit we're about to probably pop up, it is nice to be able to fire indirectly in a city, which is something that is totally underappreciated.
Yeah, definitely. I can't agree with you more. Indirect fire is more than likely what you're going to want to do with this guy. He's not very tough. You don't want to frontline with him. And he's got all that ammo to blow up. So you want to keep him in the back, lobbing missiles over a hill somewhere. I used this particular Nova Cat in Twilight Heat to decent effect. It was definitely not my MVP, though, but that's mainly because my poor pilot couldn't hit to save his life.
The only thing that I wish this had is jump jets, just because then you can kind of maneuver in the situations where you want to fire indirect. Like, oh, there's a lot of woods. Well, I can at least jump to get in position, or hills. Same with city. There's a lot of city, so I can jump into a position where I'm protected and can indirect fire. But if it had jump jets like a catapult, I'd probably run that a lot more. But it is what it is for deadly LRM boat.
Definitely. And let's get into the last unit here. There it is. Donner Assault Helicopter Standard. 914 movement speed, so it's actually slower than the Lightning Attack hovercraft. Huh.
So yeah, this looks like on a city fight where you can use this to see people and just ER large to pick them off. This would be great for round 3. Round 2, I'm guessing you're just going to harass, but I'm not going to be the biggest fan of helicopters because we know that round 4 has a lot of helicopters. So everybody and their brother is probably taking LBX, so or flak weapons. So curious to see what he does with this on an open map.
Yeah, we'll see how this works for him. That 914 movement profile is a little slow for a VTOL, if you ask me. You want to see something at least as fast as that Lightning hovercraft to generate just that little bit more TMM. You want to hit 20 hexes if you possibly can, because I think that bumps you up to a flat 5 before the VTOL bonus. But it does have an ER large laser. It is a threat in the rear arc, and it's got the 2 Streak SRM2s for crit seeking once something's opened up. So it's not terrible. It's a little more expensive, and it's not quite as fast as I would like to see out of a VTOL. But we'll see how it works out for him. Any last thoughts, Pirate?
Or that VTOL, like I'm somewhere in the back of my head, I'm going, but the Dasher H is only about 200 BV cheaper.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's faster.
it's faster, it's cheaper, but again, this would be great for the city map. It'll be great for just staying in long range and kind of forcing people to go, well, I can take shots at that and then start using up some ammo or some heat and just making silly decisions. But yeah, I'm curious to see how these two lists go because you've got one dedicated sit list, and you've got with some speed with that pack hunter and VTOL, and then you got another one which is more balanced. So I think this will be a good fight.
All right, let's take one last look at these units in the lobby real quick. There they are. So, I'm a little worried for Raiden. He's got only 4 units. He's got 2 fast units, and he's got 2 slow units. Let's get into how this objective works for round 2. That way we can explain our concerns with this slower sniper list. Objective round 2, you have one center objective where you have to download data from. At the beginning of a turn, if a unit is within 2 hexes of the center hex, which is where the data relay is basically, you have to roll a 2d6. So you type /roll in chat, and if you do not have an active probe, you need to hit a 7 or better in order to download the data. If you do have an active probe, you need to hit a 5 or better to download the active data. Once you have said data, you need to run back to your starting line, starting edge, I should say, of your map, and then survive that turn, and you will get 10 objective points. So you can there's a couple of ways to do this. You either Zerg the objective with all your units, get all of them to roll 7 or above, and then run back as a group and do a fighting withdrawal or retreat, or maybe have 2 fast units similar to what Raiden has here, and kind of what Matt has as well between the Lightning Hovercraft and the Jenner, and just run them back and forth scoring while your bigger units duke it out and try to pick off the opposing team's runners.
So I was taking a look here. Neither side has a Beagle active probe, do they? I was thinking maybe that Flashman or Blood Reaper did, but I don't think so.
I think the Pack Hunter does, actually. Here we go, Pack Hunter. Is there an active probe somewhere here? It would be in the center or left or right torso. I guess not. I don't see an active probe here. I don't think it'll be in the arm or the leg, so never mind. Scratch that. No active probe on this guy. All right, well, that being said, I think you're right. I don't think anything has an active probe this time around. So each player is going to be looking for 7s, I do believe.
Oh, that's all right. It's a fair match there as well, and sure we'll see lots of people screaming over 6s.
I would know nothing about that. Actually, 6s are great for my list. I was screaming over 4s. All right, let's go ahead and get into placement. All right. Now we've got the objective marked out. It's hex number 1712. For those of you with really good eyesight, it's just in the middle of the map, surrounded by blue little dash lines on their outside to make it easier to spot.
So initially off the cuff, I'm looking at the objective and I'm thinking, okay, Matt on the left there has a lot of cover getting to the objective, and your first thought might be, he's got cover. That's great. Problem is, you got to go through that cover to get back to your line. So even though he's got cover, it's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, it's going to be slowing him down, so it'll be harder for him to get in range turn one. Now, I will say, once you're there, in range of the objective, the cover is nice. But there is a 2 forests just in the middle of the map that either player could use for cover, realistically.
Not only that, but if Raiden were to uh, somehow get to the middle of the map and stick his units, he would have elevation, so the map wouldn't have cover, and he'd have all that forestry to protect his mechs. So it could be that maybe Raiden just says, "Sure, go ahead and grab 1 or 2 objective points off me. I'm gonna destroy your entire list while I just go and run objectives over and over."
Yeah, I can see that being a valid strategy. Just mobbing into the middle of the map while his Pack Hunter and Donner run objectives. There's also a perfect looking little sniper nest over here on Raiden's side, right in hex number 2516. It's a forest on level 1 behind level 2 cover. So it's the perfect sniper nest that you described earlier.
Not only that, but on 2715, I see something similar. If Matt was attacking from the north.
Yeah, also true. It's a level 2 hidden behind a level 3 hex. So he's got multiple options for sniping with these 2 Nova Cats.
Now, the only other thing to really call out on this map is Raiden has that lake, which would be nice for a sniper because it means he can't get flanked on a normal mission. I think we saw that last game with a Nova Cat. But here it's going to be a problem because he has to retreat those mechs, and that's right in between those 2 hills. So he's got the Pack Hunter, which jumps, which helps. He's got the helicopter, which can fly. And I don't think those Nova Cats are going to be running. But if they were, that would be a problem because then he has to navigate this, his best escape route for the map, the way the elevation's set up, is blocked by a lake. So he's going to have to go around it or over elevation, slowing him down.
Yeah, that's a worrisome choke point right there. He can either go through those 3 forests or maybe wade through the lake just a little bit to get some distance. Although Matt does have a hovercraft, which means he can skirt right over that lake no problem if he's so inclined to chase something that far. I'm a little worried that Matt's list has the numbers on him and he'll be able to just overwhelm him and run objectives uncontested while the 2 bigger units on each side duke it out. But we'll see. Let's get into it. Well, anything else that stands out for you as far as map or placement is concerned?
That is a lot of forestry on that southern center hill. So if someone were so inclined, they could park there and be within about 6 hexes of the objective.
No, that's definitely short range for those large lasers. For more than likely. I mean, it feels like it'll be short range. 1 map sheet, right? Short range for a clan ER large?
It's a clan ER large, and it's got a targeting computer, and it's going to be standing still. It doesn't matter where you are; it's going to peg you.
Oof. All right. I think it's currently, there we go. Tweezer's turn. Moves the Nova Cat up a few hexes, get behind level 1 cover and some forests. So he's got elevation, so he should be able to see just a little bit more of the map.
And there goes the Flash Man, just saying, "I've got armor and I've got speed, and I know where I'm going."
Yep.
To the center.
Looks like he's bum rushing straight for the objective area and getting some forest cover while he's at it. Oh, there we go. Blood Reaper moves up as well. Matt does outnumber Raiden, so he has to move 2 units this turn.
That's the front-loaded initiative, which is an optional rule that we're using for the NFL variation to make it a little more fair. Thank you, Vapor, for that. But usually, standard MRC, you want to outnumber them so you have all your units move at the end. But this is a good example of not screwing over the guy who only took 4 units.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Blood Reaper's up in the forest. Let's see what Raiden moves next. Pushes the Nova Cat up to a similar position as the A, right behind level 1, or on level 1 behind level 2 hill. Gets the elevation. So right now it's not doing him too many favors because everything is blocked by forest, but there's still a lot of movement left that needs to happen.
Yeah, not sure where he's going with that for two reasons. One, I mean, maybe you're going to go for that low level cover just to get within 7 or so of the center objective, but it seems like if you've got, maybe he's going to run with it, but it seems like you would want to get him up on a hill there.
Yeah, he may also be just trying to run them toward the objective. He's only got 4 units, and he may need to play the numbers game for his odds.
That's true. Or if he gets to the objective and he camps the objective, well, rear shots on anything running away trying to score.
Yeah, that's also another route to take. Just kill your enemy. That's always an option.
Murder is always an option, yes.
All right, the Ryokan runs up and dumps off the elementals behind level 1 or 2 cover. I don't know if they're blocked, but they've got 0 movement modifier and 0 tree cover, which is not exactly what I'd like to see, but it may be a bad shot anyway, just based on distance and forests in the way.
Well, he's got that level 2 blocking him from the Nova Cat V, so he's relatively safe there. And then he's got at least 2 woods from the Nova Cat A, because he'd be clipping those. And he's got some speed on him, so I think he's probably safe.
Gotcha. All right, let's see who moves next. I'm wondering what he does with that Donner. I think that's the most interesting move to be had. All right, there we go. Pack Hunter moves up, jumps more than likely into some forests. Not a bad sniper spot right there, realistically.
Well, he ain't staying there. That's his fast unit. He might stay there just to try to secure the objective a little bit, but like you mentioned, 4 units, he has got to get up there and start running back.
He can make it to the objective next turn if he jumps. Let's see what he does.
I bet he jumps.
All right, next up, lightning attack hovercraft. Interesting. Doesn't go for the objective. Hides him behind a level 1 hill to protect him for another round. And it looks like the Donner moved up as well. Must have skipped that.
Yeah, that Donner is everything ran pretty much, so it's not really well placed. But that lightning attack hovercraft is probably just scared of getting annihilated turn 1. I don't know if 15-14 there would help protect him because it's kind of exposed, maybe from that Nova Cat A. But that would have been a nice spot if he could have reached it.
Yeah, I think it's a risk he doesn't need to take. Hiding behind 15-17 may have been the best bet for safety's sake. It may have also only been a walk, so he doesn't have to make the piloting rolls for the run.
True, I forgot, because I usually run hovercrafts at piloting skill 3 or 2, just because A, I don't have to worry about it, B, I like taking cheap crap, and C, man, that is so disappointing to have your hovercraft immobilized because it skidded into a wall.
Yeah, definitely don't want to see anybody skid into a wall and blow up. Horrible flaming death. It has happened a few times, but bad luck is not something that's foreign to Matt, especially not after last round.
No, the headshots.
No, the ammo explosions.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The ammo explosions. We'll just keep going down the list of horrible things. Somewhere it'll be like environmental effect. You got entangled by trees.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, we should be getting into firing lines for the first round soon here. Let's see how these shake out. Oh, okay. That's a lot of fire going on that Blood Reaper round 1.
I wonder why, because the Blood Reaper is 2 ER PPCs, so it is a long-range threat. It's got those ATMs, but maybe that's just the easiest shot he had to make. So if he was making, it looks like it may have walked from the deployment zone or ran into those woods, but it might just be, I'd rather hit on 10s on the Blood Reaper than 12s on the Flashman.
Yeah, definitely. You take the best shot you can, especially on these opening rounds. You never know what'll land and give you a little leg up. 11s, 12s, might as well, as long as you're not wasting ammo or you have enough
And
ammo to waste.
there's something to be said about focus firing too, because we all get tempted and we all say, but I have a better shot on that mech. Well, if you sandblast everything, an experienced player knows how to move their mechs in and out. But if you start taking units off the board, run out of options.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get into the combat log for this first round. What everybody wants to see. Okay, there's all the piloting checks for the lightning and the little ferrets moving in for the objective marker placement. And Novacat needed boxcars and did not get lucky. Misses all 4 of them. For the Novacat A, that is.
Well, and you notice something else too. Matt didn't fire a single weapon.
No, his target numbers must have been that bad. Remember, he's not running on 3-4 pilots, so he's on 4-4 or 4-5 at best for the most part.
Yeah, that's tough.
And the Novacat B needs 11s for all 6 of those LRM-15s and doesn't connect with a single one. Pack Hunter needs boxcars and misses, so the Blood Reaper is unscathed after dodging a whole lot of rounds. Well, I don't know if it's really dodging, more like listing lazily to the left at this point.
Yeah, that just shows good opening maneuvering to keep your numbers high.
Yeah, definitely. All right, no heat going to the next round for any mechs, and it looks like Matt wins initiative, so Raiden will be going first. Let's see what happens next round. There we go, a little bit more zoomed in, get a better view of what the action's going on in this center area.
Good, we got the third base cam going here. Love it.
Yeah. So it looks like Raiden moved his Novacat A up into that perfect little sniper nest we were mentioning earlier. He's in a forest behind level 2 cover on a level 1 hill. You can see basically everything he wants to right now.
This is why we don't use artillery, because someone would have been dropping long tom rounds right on that exact hex.
Oh, you know it. It's the hex is too good to be true. It's in the words of Mon Calamari, it's a trap. Now on Matt's side, he's got to move 2 units, so he moves up the elemental battle armor, jumping for 3, and he moves up the Blood Reaper from one forest to another for a run of at least 5 or 6.
So his elementals aren't in scoring range, though, are they?
No, I think they're just out. Unfortunately, every time somebody moves, the little goalposts shift. But we'll see. Hopefully, they'll get moved back into the right spot in some of these other shots. There they are. Okay.
1712. Yep.
Yeah, 1712 is the objective hex number, and the Novacat B moves for all of what is that? 2 hexes? Maybe he looks like he maybe walked for 4, going up the hill and turning a bit.
Yeah, but that's I mean, he's got armor, but most of his weapons are all in his arms, so he's exposing himself to some counter battery fire.
Yeah, and I know that Novacat personally, and that ammo tends to light up, so I'm a little worried for Raiden there at that move. No cover, but good firing lines.
Before we skip too far, one thing I am curious about: why did the battle armor jump there? Because they could have just gotten into those trees in 1511, got cover. Maybe he was trying to go partial cover.
I don't think they could have reached there. They were on the Ryukin's hex, so they could only move for 3. So they could only go to 1411 behind the hill, which would have probably been the better bet. They would have had no chance to be shot right there.
Yeah, I mean, you are getting closer to 1712, but if you're going to have to do it in 2 turns, it seems like that's slightly more beneficial. Not that we're nitpicking, but we kind of are. But, it just seems like that would have been a slightly better place to hop to.
Yeah, can't argue with that logic there. All right, let's see what moves next. As you can see, both of the Ferret Light Scouts are on the hex for the objective as well. And it looks like the Ryukin moved up.
So that lovely hex we were just talking about.
Yep, so he's in 1511, he is in range of the objective, and he is in a forest. He didn't move all that far, only, maybe 4 or 5 hexes at most, I would say. But
hopefully it's a jump to keep his target numbers high.
I don't think this Ryukin can jump.
It can believe.
All right, let's see where Raiden moves that Pack Hunter.
Oh, and he's going for the DFA on the Stormcrow, turn 1. Sorry, for all of you listening, that's not what happened.
No, Matt just moved the Flashman up because now that the battle armor's on the field, he's got an even bigger numbers advantage on Raiden's list. So the Flashman is in scoring range in a forest on a level 1 hill. So he's definitely going for points early. Good call there, Matt.
Well, the Flashman's a speedy boy with armor, so, yeah, it's nice to kill a Novacat for 20 points, but if you don't have to brawl for 6 turns and you can run and get an objective for 10, points-wise, that's probably a good one.
Yeah, chasing the easy money. All right, now it's definitely Raiden's turn. And wouldn't you know it, he jumps the Pack Hunter right into range. He's adjacent to a forest, but not in it, so he's pretty exposed where he's at currently.
Do you think that might be a trap to try to get that Jenner 2C to get a rear shot on the Pack Hunter where he can just get lit up by the Novacats?
That Jenner can jump for 7, so that is a tempting shot to get right in the rear. The only problem is you'll be exposing yourself to that Novacat duo, the A and B, and the Donner assault helicopter has not moved yet. So I'm curious to see how Matt counters this. Oh, there's the Jenner. He doesn't quite move him into the rear, but he does jump him for a good distance into a forest in the objective. So he'll get, as of right now, 3 rolls for data. Maybe 4 if he moves that lightning attack hovercraft into range. We'll see what he does with it.
So let's think about that Jenner. That Jenner jumped 4. So it's only a +1. +1 for jumping. You're at +2. +2 for heavy woods, +4. So you got 4s, those probably medium range on those Novacats. So you're at 6s, their gunnery, 7, 8, 9. -1 for the targeting computer on the Novacat A. He's looking at 8s and 9s to get walloped right there.
Yeah, you'd like to see higher numbers, but it is what it is with a ER large laser and a targeting computer. The last 2 units to move are going to be the Donner and the lightning attack hovercraft. I do believe Raiden lost initiative, so the Donner will be moving last.
I'm a bit surprised that those are the 2 last units to move, only because you'd think they would use those as initiative sinks.
Oh, I'm sorry. The lightning will be moving last. The Donner moves into scoring range, surprisingly enough. I don't know if he's landed or not. It says level 3 right there, if I'm not mistaken.
This is when we find out that he wasn't aware you had to land.
More than likely, that's probably the case. Either way, he only moved for all of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes. He's definitely got the speed to have landed.
Unless he did like a little, there's something that sounds inappropriate next to it, so I'm not going to call it what I think it is. But there's something about doing like a big circle where you don't actually move many hexes, but you move a lot of hexes.
Oh, like a little loop-de-loop where you just kind of go fly around a bit and then, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up what that's actually called in the community later because I know I'm going to butcher it and probably get a shadow banned off YouTube.
It's all right. We had a good run. All right, let's get into the firing lines. Oh, wait. Lightning attack hovercraft. Oh, look at that. Creeping up on the Novacat B. I think he's currently safe because he's behind a level 1 cover. Actually, he's on level 1 behind level 2 cover. So he should be out of line of sight for both of these Novacats.
He's going for the rear shots because he knows those Novacats only have 7, I think, rear torso armor.
And that's exactly what you want to penetrate with those 2 medium pulse lasers that he's carrying. Hopefully he doubles up on a torso and goes internal. We'll see what he does. All right, let's see those firing lines. Who's getting the Bozak this round? Oh, okay. There we go. Both Novacats zeroing in on the Ryukin. That must be his best shot right there.
Pack Hunter, too.
Yeah, Pack Hunter, both Novacats, correct. The Donner is actually surprisingly firing at the Flashman. And the Flashman will be returning fire at the Donner and splitting to the Novacat B. Looks like the Ryukin is unloading onto the Pack Hunter too. More than likely that's his best shot. And the Blood Reaper's throwing some more fire at the Nova Cat B. Nova Cat A not targeted. Neither is the Blood Reaper this round. Or the Jenner 2C, surprisingly.
Got to take down those Nova Cats. They're going to fight them later.
Oh yeah, they're definitely dangerous. Let's get into the combat log and see how this round of firing ends up. Okay,
Oh,
Donner.
I was about to say I see red already, but no, that's
Yeah.
the objective marker.
Got all
That's
excited.
I know a little trauma from seeing red already.
All right, Nova Cat A unloads on to the Ryukin, misses with 9s across the board. Couldn't hit the 9 target number. Flashman unloads, pops the Nova Cat B for a little bit in the torso and left leg. Nothing spectacular.
Nova Cat B there looks like LRMs do connect on that Ryukin. Takes 20 points of damage, just kind of scattered all over the place.
Shaving him down a bit. Blood Reaper shaves off a little bit more on that left torso in the Nova Cat B. There you go. You will need to burrow into that thick armor of that heavy mech.
Even though it's only one hit, the fact is you throw enough head clippers, something's going to get clipped. So one's a good start.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, the Pack Hunter 2 unloads on the Ryukin, doing what looks like an alpha strike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite all 8 ER micro lasers. But the kicker is he throws out the ER PPC, and where does he hit him, Pirate?
He hits him right in the damn head that I was just telling you about. That's called foreshadowing.
Oh man, Matt, if it's not your ammo, you're just taking ER PPCs to the dome. That is some bad luck on basically the first real round of firing. Round 2 loses a fresh unit off of a headshot. I can't. Oh man, I'm sorry, Matt. That you do have the worst luck.
We'll pour one out for the 4 Stormcrow.
And the Stormcrow, does he get a rebuttal? Nope. He does connect with the AC-20 on that Pack Hunter. So he'll be making the pirate roll. Not a pirate roll, a pilot roll. You're a pirate roll.
That just means I cheat. But yeah, he does have 5 internal structure remaining on the center torso. So a medium laser from that flashbang laser will finish him off. Let's see if that's foreshadowing.
Donner failing on all 3 of its attacks. Jenner 2C whiffing across the board. Nova Cat does not fall. Pack Hunter does not fall. Oof. Needed a 6, rolled a 6.
Yeah,
Not a good opening round for Matt. Let's see if he can get lucky and either destroy something big or recover just through good old fashioned tactical play. Remember, this is an objective based scenario. Getting more points from playing the objective might be the way to go now.
And there have been several games this tournament where people have said, you know what, I've already lost on turn 1 or 2, and they end up pulling it out. So never give up here.
That's right. Never give up, never surrender. Galaxy Quest motto. All right, looking at the aftermath, there's the squish where the Ryukin used to be, which is quite unfortunate. Pack Hunter is red, took a lot of damage, opened up internal. Everything else seems to be unscathed and in perfect working order. Let's get into what they do next.
What I do know is if we need to do a fundraiser for a Magic 8 Ball to get Matt some luck again, let me know.
Or a lucky rabbit's foot, maybe some lucky charms. We can get St. Patrick's Day is coming up soon. Anything at this point. Looks like he's running the Donner assault helicopter. I think he may have rolled for data. Actually, let me look at my notes. Turn 1, Flashman and Jenner rolled. Pack Hunter rolled. So the Jenner has data currently, and the Flashman. They both made their roll. Jenner rolled a 7, Flashman rolled a 9. Pack Hunter rolled a 5, so does not currently have data. The Donner rolled an 11. So the Donner technically has data right now, even though it didn't quite land, but it probably had the movement to land if it really wanted to. We'll leave that alone because this match is in the past, so no harm, no foul going forward.
And realistically, it's more important for the game to continue. Obviously, you can't undo in Mega Mech. That is a problem. So I like to hope that if they even noticed, then they came to a gentleman's agreement on the table.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Remember, we're all adults here, and people make mistakes. So as long as you're honest and you both show each other the courtesy and respect that is that we request of you. You know, don't be a dick to each other off of an honest mistake, like something simple like that. Oh, I forgot to go down. I definitely had the movement to do it. So everything's all kosher. Don't worry about it.
And don't be a dick is actually in the rule packet. And luckily, I've never played someone at MRC that I had to pull that out with.
And we'd
I'm
like to
talking
keep
about
it
the
that way.
rule.
Yeah, we would like to keep it that way. Whoa, hey, hey.
All right, this is now a thirsty stream.
All right, let's see who moves next. Oh, there we go. Getting the elemental battle armor up into scoring range. You won't be able to shoot at anything because I highly doubt that pack hunter is going to stick around. Although you never know, he does still need data.
Well, so the pack hunter's play here is there's those woods recently vacated by the Stormcrow, or possibly that level 2 on top of the Flashman. So if he could get some elevation, or if he starts running away and moves him last, where that Gen 2C tries to, I don't know, get out of position somehow, just go prone on 1611 so that you're in data scoring range, but then you're behind some cover.
Yeah, we'll see. He see if he waits to the end to move that pack hunter. It looks like Matt won initiative again since the Donner was the first unit to move. Matt needs to move another unit before Raiden has to move. Let's see what he moves next. Oh, there goes the Jenner 2C right into the hex I was about to suggest his Pack Hunter 2 jump into. It's 1310. It's out of scoring range, but it's in the rear lines of Matt's forces in a forest, and it would give him a good target movement modifier if he happened to jump in that particular hex. But that's not available to him anymore. Let's see what Raiden moves next. Any thoughts on this particular move with the Jenner?
I'm more looking at that Nova Cat, the Jenner. So the Jenner doesn't have data, correct?
No, the Jenner does have data. The Jenner
Oh,
and the
yes.
Flashman both do. So he's on the run, making his
Uh,
scoring run.
that was probably the best move, but uh, if you start getting some distance, as long as you're not getting a rear shot given to Raiden, then I don't know. Distance seems like it would be important. And if you were to do that, I would have turned slightly because he's landed in such a way that maybe he's using it to reinforce the ability to shoot at the objective. But he's going to have to go through so many hill or so many forests there. I'd rather him be turned so that he can start one more hex movement, legging it to the center line or back edge.
You know, he can jump for 7. I would have just liked to have seen him jump for the full 7. He only jumped for what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Screw it. At this point, jump for the full 7 and get as much distance as you can and score as early as possible.
Over there, that forest below the Blood Reaper wouldn't have been a bad situation either.
Yeah, at this point, getting that extra target movement modifier for the 7 jump over the 5 may have been worth it. Although where he's at currently is in a heavy woods from the looks of it, so it's equivalent or better to his jump 4 or jump modifier of +4.
Other thing to think about is if if it's a total scoring game where everybody scores everything, that's one thing. But like we mentioned, you're going to be capped out at 50 combat points. So if you can get 50 combat points in total, or you can get 50 objective points, the objective points are probably going to be slightly easier to get. And that's the point. You're trying to play the objective, not just kill.
Yeah, one thing to note is that the Nova Cat A moved out of his sniper nest for what had to be a run. Either turned and went down the level 1 hill, or he went straight up to level 2, back down to level 1, and back down to ground 0. I'm assuming
Uh,
it was a run for 6.
I'm actually a little surprised that he moved it because that was a nice little nest. But again, if he can get to where the Flashman's standing, he has another nice little nest. And there's nothing much Matt can do about it when he makes a return run because he's just going to camp the objective.
Yeah, and because that pack hunter's looking pretty weak right now, he took a shot last round, and a good shot to whatever got hit last round will put him out of his misery or put him into forced withdrawal so he cannot score anymore. he may be thinking, I need to get these Nova Cats into scoring range because my Pack Hunter may not survive.
Well, and they're Nova Cats, so they have no minimum range. There's no real risk of moving them up.
Yeah, other than opening yourself up to being shot, there's no reason to hide them, realistically. They are more than half of your force each from the looks of it.
My fan fiction is going to take that Blood Reaper somehow charging the Nova Cat and smashing it.
Maybe we'll get a nice brutal brawl in the middle. Let's see where Matt moves next.
Blood Reaper had enough movement to go there. In my head, I was still thinking in the hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, he can make it, and he took it. Best
That
move available because he gets +1 TMM and +1 for the woods, and he's up high, so there's no cover for anything on the map now.
and more importantly, he's in range of the objective, so he gets a data
Yeah.
roll. I'm
Like most things, if you can score, go for it.
And it looks like the Nova Cat B moved up from its little perch as well. In a straight run for 5 hexes, maybe 6 from the looks of it.
+2 movement modifier.
Yep.
Now, where do you think that lightning attack hovercraft is going to go? I would love to see it with those pulse lasers try to chase down the Donner and somehow clip a rotor or something to cause it to crash.
Yeah, those pulse lasers are probably Matt's best bet for dealing with the Donner. I'm a little concerned Matt's going to go for the rear arc on one of these Nova Cats, and he's going to get arm flicked
Don't
on
do
and
it.
just obliterated by a bunch of LRMs or large lasers to the face.
Exactly. It is so tempting. Aha, I'm in your rear arc. And the Nova Cat doesn't have lower arm actuators, so adios.
Oh, good call there, Pirate. That's exactly what he did with that lightning. Ran it right into the Donner, getting a point blank range shot on it.
Yep. And so the Donner can't necessarily. I think the Donner has everything in the front, so I don't think it can turn to shoot at him.
No, I don't think he's got a turret, so he's going to get these shots pretty free unless the Nova Cat decides to turn around and punish him for it. There are 2 Woods hexes because he is the level 1 unit behind Woods that are up on level 2, and the Nova Cat is down on level 1, so he will get both of those Woods.
It's probably too much movement, but if he could have made it to that 27-17 and face north, he would have been able to take a free shot with total immunity.
Yeah, that might have been a little bit too far. Although it may have been too many piloting rolls, not necessarily too far for movement purposes.
Yeah.
Moving right up against a wall is always risky with a hovercraft.
You also have to think, all right, I've got my Nova Cats. I can either pop that Flashman or Blood Reaper, who has got a 2 modifier, but it's only got a 2. Or I can go after the hovercraft, which might not even hit because my Donner is fast.
Exactly. You got to rely on your speed for survival when you're in something small, fast, and light. All right, only 2 units left to move, the Flashman and the Pack Hunter. Pack Hunter jumps back.
Oh, you know what he's doing? The Pack Hunter is now an ER PPC boat, where the Nova Cats are the runners.
Yep, they're switching roles. He's doing the little hokey pokey with the Pack Hunter, putting him in first for one round, jumping him back out for another round. I can only assume he's going to jump him straight back in the following turn to try and roll for data again. And the Flashman, last one to move, not sure where he's going to go. He needs to find somewhere safe. Maybe just backing up off that level 1 hill and going prone might be the way to go. Although there is the Nova Cat B, which will be able to pop him one if he does that. He's got to be careful with his positioning here.
That may be why the Nova Cat B went south, is so that he can just kind of sort of get an angle out of those woods against where the Flashman's probable line of retreat is.
Yeah, good call. All right, let's see where he ends up.
Oh, he moved north to get some more trees between them.
All right, was not expecting that. Backing up the Jenner.
At first, I thought he moved off the board. I was like, I don't see him.
Nah, I don't think our cameraman would have been bad enough to miss a unit for the firing phase.
Well, he is fast, so.
Oh yeah, he's fast as a Flashman.
So what we got going on here, that Blood Reaper, like we mentioned, is got a low target number relatively, so it's going to get squished.
He's taking at least one ERPPC from the Pack Hunter. I'm assuming all 4 large lasers from the Novacat A and all 6 of those LRM-15s from the Novacat B. That is all the firing for Raiden this turn, though, unloading his full Alpha Strike onto that Blood Reaper, which is in turn sending more fire back at that Novacat B that's already been shaved down a little bit, along with the Flashman.
About to say, it's tit for tat here outside of the lightning attack hovercraft, scaring the Donner.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to hit. I don't know what these numbers are. We'll get into it once we see the combat log. Speaking of which, let's get into it. Alrighty, first up, Novacat A needs 9s. Oh, I'm sorry, needs 7s and tags with 3 out of the 4 ER larges on that poor Blood Reaper.
Doesn't go internal yet.
Uh-oh, what do we have here? Lightning Hovercraft Royal. Medium Pulse Laser misses. Medium Pulse Laser hits. Nothing spectacular, but SRM2 fails. SRM2 hits. 2 missiles hit. Oh, where do they hit, Pirate?
Oh no, they hit that left side and they clip it. It plummets 4 levels to the ground. Suffers 10 damage and catastrophically has a ammo explosion. But there's a lot of red, but it's not dead. It can't do anything anymore, but it's not dead.
It's a clan vehicle. It's got case. The ammo explosion.
200 damage. That thing took 200 damage, knocked out of the sky, falls on its butt, and it's still not dead. The crew is stunned for 1 turn. Those are your clan warriors right there.
Oh, yeah. Putting their improved genetics to the test there. Engine destroyed, though, so that Donner is not long for this world.
So it'd be interesting to see if he goes, it's an initiative sync, I need to kill it, versus it's not really a threat. I'm going to go take a turn to try to shoot something.
It's also combat points for getting the unit off the board, so it's worth 20 points. So not only that, but he's also probably operating under the assumption that it's got data, which means it's worth 4 tiebreaker points. Or 3 or 4 for this round. I think it's 3 for this round, actually. Next round is 4.
We'd have to read the packet, but we don't read here.
No, we don't do that here.
Now, Flashman, though, I was, again, hoping it would get some nice rolls, but this 4, it probably ran. Needs 9s to hit that Novacat, but it just misses on. I didn't realize it had 3 large lasers, though, but it still missed everything.
Yeah, those 3 large lasers are pretty dangerous. Too bad he's not connecting. Novacat B unloads the Blood Reaper, just shaving him down. Not too many missiles connecting.
What's that, 15 missiles out of 60?
Yeah, not bad. 12, 9, and then 6.
No, I forgot. It keeps scrolling down, and there's more missiles, but still.
Yeah, he only connects with 3 out of the 6 LRM-15s total.
Yeah, that's pretty low cluster rolls at that.
All right, going down. Blood Reaper. Oh, man. Wiffle sauce across the board. 999 misses all 3 of them on the ERPPCs and an ATM-6.
That Pack Hunter, though, is going to get MVP for this game. ERPPC goes internal and destroys a heavy laser on the Blood Reaper.
Oh, yeah. That poor little heavy medium. Didn't even get to fire it once.
Needs a 10, rolls a 10.
Oh, man. Okay, yeah. Pack Hunter's in the lead for MVP so far, although something can be said for that Lightning Hovercraft taking out that Donner.
But look at Tanky McGee, which probably should be his name now. But the Blood Reaper takes 60 damage, as needs an 8 on the piloting roll because the advanced damage PSR is turned on. It rolls a boxcar. It's just saying, "Come at me, bro."
Yep, that's one way to quote Tex, "Dab on the haters" right there. Looks like Matt wins initiative for the next round as well. Initiative is not streaky in Mega Mech, folks. Not at all. I don't know where you heard that from. Let's get into the next round. There we go. Now we can see that Donner is immobile and stunned for 1 more round, which means it's doing absolutely nothing. It can't even shoot, even if something wandered into its front arc this turn anyway.
Finish him.
I hope that the Pack Hunter, the Lightning Attack Hovercraft does so this turn. Blood Reaper's pretty beat up. Pack Hunter didn't take. I don't think Matt hit anything else other than that Donner. I think all of his other shots missed, unfortunately.
I think you might be right.
All right, let's see what Raiden decides to move first. More than likely, it's going to be the Donner. Nope, Nova Cat B moving up into contesting range of the objective.
Yep. Get those data points and start backing it up.
Oh yeah, one thing to note for this round, elementals have data, and so does the Blood Reaper because they were in range at the beginning of this turn. Elementals rolled a 7, Blood Reaper rolled a 10. Data rolls coming in clutch for Matt. He can just turn around and make a beeline back to his side of the map, or his edge of the map.
Now, one thing that this objective based mission is neat for, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I have never seen somebody load elementals until Tweezer did it his round 2 game with me. So you could easily get those elementals into a nice hex behind those woods, then have the Jenner come in and taxi him back.
I don't think that Jenner's an Omni-Mech unless those elementals have magnetic clamps.
Oh, you're right. The Omni-Mech is dead.
Yep, the poor Ryukin got headshotted round 2, so elementals are going to have to jump it back to their edge of the board.
Fair, fair. But yeah, it turns out you can load battle armor. So we all knew that, but we forget it happens. And this is a good example of an objective mission where that's a good thing to use.
Definitely. All right, let's see what Matt decides to move in rebuttal. Whoa, there we go. Jenner did a flat run to 1 hex off the edge of the map.
Well, those Nova Cats are on the ground now, so there is a lot of wood cover they're going to have to chew through. I think that Jenner's got it.
Yeah, unless that A can get up onto level 1 somewhere and take some extremely long range shots at him, I think that Jenner 2C is safe. There's minimum 3 woods in between the B and the 2C Jenner. So he should be fine this turn. I'm assuming Raiden's going to move that Nova Cat up into data range. There's no other reason to put it out into the open like that unless you're planning on steamrolling in the objective with it.
So for anybody listening and trying to min-max, with this tournament, it's possible for both players to score 100 points on double objectives and double combat score 50 apiece. Then you've got your cheese bonuses and tiebreakers in between. But in the standard MRC format, that Jenner would be an extreme threat because, sure, he's only got 1 piece of data, but when it's a binary win or lose, that 1 piece of data means you get all the objective points. So not as critical here because he's only going to have 10-0 instead of 50-0. But that is something that if this were under standard rules, that Jenner would be, lethal if he doesn't score another point in return.
Yeah, that could be a game-winning play right there.
But as it is here, it's a good starting step. He's going to have to roll a lot more to make up for that dead Ryoken.
Definitely. All right, I do believe Matt still outnumbers Raiden, so he's going to have to move another unit. And it's the battle armor to the rear of the Nova Cat B. I don't know if I like that. He's got data on those battle armor. He should be moving him toward his edge.
And as much as I like it, he doesn't have enough damage on that battle armor to really beat into the rear arc of that Nova Cat. It would have been probably a little more advantageous, like you said, to start running back or to get closer to that pack hunter.
Yeah, he's got to either fish for the through armor crit or the headshots to make those battle armor really do anything right now. That, and they're susceptible to being arm flipped on by the Nova Cat B currently, and the Nova Cat A could just walk right past them and ignore them. I'm not too worried about those particular elementals in your rear arc.
Well, the only good news is they're not the cheesy space elementals that some of us use, so those are regular elementals that actually have 11 armor. They can all take a hit from those ER large lasers. I think.
Yes.
Wait, what are clan lasers? Is that 10?
Yeah, clan lasers are 10. So they can each take a hit, assuming he doesn't double up on the same trooper twice.
Correct.
I would have preferred to see him jump into the Nova Cat B's hex. That way he can at least do a leg attack to get a little more value and hamstring the Nova Cat if he gets lucky. But I don't know. We'll see what he can do with these battle armor. Next up, I do believe it's Raiden's turn because that's 2 moves for Matt. And there's the Nova Cat A scooching up into contesting range.
And it's going to rotate left and pop everything on that battle armor if it chose to for the tiebreaker points. But I think that Blood Reaper being damaged is a more likely target regardless of where he goes.
The only chance that Blood Reaper has of not getting lit up this turn is if he just turns around and walks off that level 2 hill and sits there. Or somehow gets 3 Woods Hexes in between him and those 2 Nova Cats. Because there's 1, 2 right here that'll both block. So if he can back up to here, maybe he's safe. But I don't know if he can suffer or survive too much more fire.
Or he backs up too, because you can back up over elevations in MRC and then go prone. And then you're saving yourself that turn, but then what are you going to do with it other than very slowly run to the back edge of the map to score?
Oh, one thing to note, once you drop prone, when you go to stand up the next turn, you can choose your facing. So he'd get basically 3 movement for free by turning around after being prone, and then he can do a straight run. But by then, those Nova Cats will likely be either on a hill shooting at him or heading back to their own edge of the board to score.
They also see, I didn't realize this at first, he pointed his Nova Cat A that way for a reason. They can walk 4, right?
Yep.
And they are 1, 2, 3, 4 into those heavy woods. If he didn't score, he can just camp the objective.
Yes, he can.
Yeah, I'm just realizing that his Nova Cat A would have probably been turned to different facing if he didn't choose to do that.
No, I agree with you there. He spent the movement to do it, so he had a reason for doing it. And the Flashman is off to the races with the Jenner, trailing behind by a good bit.
And those heavy woods are now a curse for those Nova Cats because as 3 hexes of, or 3 intervening woods, a heavy woods and a light woods, they cannot see that Flashman, so that Flashman will score.
Yep. I don't know if he'll make it next turn, but he'll definitely make it the turn after that. Assuming the Nova Cats don't get up on the hill and light him up the turn following. But that's for future us to deal with. Current us is more concerned with where that Blood Reaper's going. And the Pack Hunter, for that matter. Where did that Pack Hunter? Oh, there he is.
Pack Hunter went back into the heavy woods. You know what? He jumped away. Now he jumped back in. But doesn't he have data?
No, he doesn't. He only rolled a 5 on the Pack Hunter, and he doesn't have a probe.
He was getting his TMM up. So when you're playing the bouncy jump 7 game, you have to jump away in order to return. Otherwise, if you don't jump 7 each turn, you're going to get ganked.
Yep, and you don't have the armor to not jump 7. So he's sitting pretty in those woods. He did the full 7 jump, and those are heavy woods. Unfortunately, he's got his back facing the Blood Reaper. I don't know if I like that. But he's got such a high TMM that I don't think it's going to be of much concern this turn.
It's definitely a trap because, sure, get in that hex behind me and get ready for a head kick. There are 2 Nova Cats right there in short range that will gladly maul you before you can do that.
Yeah, exactly. He knows he's pretty safe. He's got Mama Nova Cat and Daddy Nova Cat sitting there watching him. All right, last 2 units to move are going to be the Donner, which of course stays still, which I would have liked to see him move it first. There's really no reason not to take advantage of an initiative sync when it's doing absolutely nothing else for you. And then the Blood Reaper coming down off the hill with data, giving him a side shot on the left arc right there for both Nova Cats. Definitely a dangerous place to be. He does have cover, but I don't know if that was the move.
Well, he's also got intervening woods from the Nova Cat A. The Nova Cat B, I don't think so. I could be wrong on that. But he's got the 1 cover, but not intervening necessarily. And he might also be trying to get his left side in there, because I know his right arm is damaged, so both of them are shooting on his left arc.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is that you can still hit the right arc from the right side somehow. Or from the opposite side.
It's a confused melee and brawl. They're going to be turning left and right. It's just what's more prevalent.
All right, last unit to move is the Lightning. I think he's safe to just... Oh, look, he just basically twists a little bit, comes down off the hill, angles himself to get a shot on the Donner. That way he's in a better position to move out from where he's at now next turn.
This would
And
be the one time that he needs fours and rolls threes because he moved.
right, oh man. Well, he's got the pulse lasers, so he should, in theory, be auto hitting with those. All right, for firing lines, we've got the Pack Hunter, the Nova Cat A, both emptying into the elemental battle armor. We'll see if they can weather the storm. The Nova Cat B and the Blood Reaper are exchanging blows with each other. Looks like it might barely be clipping that heavy woods. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see in the combat log.
You see the Flashman torso twisted in an attempt to fire a left arm, but probably realized as well there's too many woods.
Yeah, no line of fire there. All right, let's get into it. Nova Cat connects with 1, 2, 3 of those ER large lasers. Trooper number 5 bites the dust after he gets double tapped.
He's not a zombie. You don't need to double tap.
Well, he's an elemental. Apparently you do. One wasn't enough.
They're pretty tanky, that's right. But that lightning attack hovercraft, it needed a -1. I'm glad it didn't fail a -1 to take out that Donner assault copter.
If anybody could find a way to do it, I'm sure it would be Matt with how terrible his luck is. Miss due to temporal anomaly or something. All right, going into the next round of shots, Nova Cat B unloading with those LRMs into the Blood Reaper, getting a right arm down to 4 internal structure, but no critical hits coming through fruition.
You see how many of those missiles hit the legs behind cover, so he did well dodging some bullets there.
Oh yeah, cover's coming in clutch. At least 10 missiles got blocked by the cover, so hopefully that'll be less of a pilot roll for him. Let's see how his return fire looks for that Blood Reaper.
No, he nearly takes that arm off with an ERPPC to the right arm twice. So that's 30 damage. There's only a little bit left.
3 internal structure remaining. Unfortunately, he only crits a heatsink. Nothing too spectacular there. You want to hit at least one of those LRM-15s, bare minimum.
Pack Hunter, though, it's 9s to hit the elementals, misses. 13s on the micro laser. Must not have noticed it before he fired. And the elementals round out this game with doing a little bit of damage. It looks like it's 3 damage per trooper on that AP Gauss. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But, it just kind of, piddles around on the back of the Nova Cat. It does count towards the PSR he's about to take, but it doesn't really do much else.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 of those hits were on the legs. Only 1 hit the center torso rear, which is where you really want those shots to connect. All right, like you said, Nova Cat makes his piloting roll, and a little bit of heat, up to 4 on the Nova Cat A, up to 2 on the Nova Cat B, and 2 on the Pack Hunter. Blood Reaper's sitting at 4, so everybody perfectly riding that heat curve or being neutral. And it looks like Matt wins initiative for, what is that, 5 turns in a row now, Pirate?
Hey, he needs it after that Ryukin.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying it's not required or not, not a blessing, but it just goes to show you can't always rely on getting initiative with your list. After the aftermath, we've got the Donner taken out down here. Little guy's gone. There's the squish from the Ryukin. Rest in peace. Nothing's looking too much worse for wear after that last round. Jenner's more than likely going to score. Maybe the Flashman will as well.
The Flashman will. I've been counting. He's got 8, not 7. As long as that's Lightwood's there, pretty sure he can make it to the end of the board. He does have to survive, so the Jenner would do well to kind of do like a weird little turn in case the Nova Cats decided to get up high. You have to survive it, but I think the Flashman can make it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that Jenner jump to the north a bit, get behind that level 3 cover. That way they're perfectly safe, and there's no risk of them being shot this round.
Correct.
For reference, Raiden had 3 units within the AoE of the objective. Nova Cat A rolled a 4, Nova Cat B rolled a 6, and the Pack Hunter rolled an 8. So he's got data now, finally, on a unit on the Pack Hunter.
If you're going to get data, your boy that can jump at least is not a bad one, but that lightning attack hovercraft is going to be like playing the Jaws theme song in a second, I believe.
Oh yeah, I want to see him go over that water. All All right, let's get into the movement. Oh, first up, the Pack Hunter jumps for 7 into those forests where it just came from the turn before.
We may see your water by the time this is over.
I hope so. We'll see if that lightning attack hovercraft can get into a good attack position on that Pack Hunter. Up next, what do we got? Oh, elementals jumping back into the woods whence they came, giving them a little bit more cover and hopefully surviving a round of hate from those two Nova Cats again. They do have data.
Yeah, a bit of an odd move though, because he knows the Jenner is not going to be a threat because he's going to run to the end and he has SRMs. So why not move the Jenner first and then save your elementals for, like you said, doing a leg attack or doing some sort of shenanigans with that AP Gauss?
Yeah, at this point, you're already committed them. Might as well go in for a penny, in for a pound. Next up, looks like it's going to be Matt's second move. There's the Jenner. I don't know if that's the play. Looks like he just moved for 2 or 3 hexes there to get up against the edge.
He's probably all right.
Yeah, he's far away enough that he should be fairly safe, and there's enough forests in between. Also, the Nova Cat B looks like it just moved a little bit, only 2 hexes maybe. Just went north of the Nova Cat A slightly. Or am I mistaken? No, he had to move.
Yeah, because they're facing the wrong way.
Yeah, he's facing up slightly tilted to the north now. He's staying in range, trying to get the data. Maybe it would have been more beneficial to go up to the hill to get better lines of fire on the scoring units on Matt's side. But he's also could be playing it safe, wants to get the data for himself and get more points on the board. Little gentleman's agreement, if you will.
Yeah, that or should have walked up to kick the elementals. It's a +3 to stomp on them in the same hex. But if you kick them, that 70-ton Nova Cat can do 14 damage on a kick. It could have killed an elemental outright with -2 to hit, besides having no minimum range on those LRMs.
Oh yeah, if he could have put both of those Nova Cats in melee range of those elementals, being 1 hex out adjacent to that forest hex they're in, and punted 1 each, they would be in forced withdrawal because they would be under 50%.
Correct.
Which means they would not be able to score, which is the most important part right now. Let's see where Matt moves next. I think he's got to move 2 units.
There's a Flash, man. Good job, Flashy.
He did make it this turn. That is one fast, heavy mech. All right, well, that move pretty much plays itself. Let's get into the next one. Well, I mean, he should be fine. He's got multiple forests in the way. His rear arc is slightly exposed, but he should be okay.
I was going to say the Flash Man, yeah, could be popped rear by the Nova Cat if their Nova Cat went to that hill 1613, still within scoring range. But then he's at risk of the Blood Reaper. I think realistically, he's going to move into those heavy woods hex and then try to take a shot at that Blood Reaper in short range.
Yeah, speaking of the Blood Reaper, he moved up a little bit, giving him the side arc again. This time, the right side arc instead of the left. But he's in a forest, and he's got at least a 1 TMM, hopefully, at this point.
And if the Nova Cat wanted, he could have turned 1, 2, 3. He could have been within walking distance of going south and getting a rear shot on that Blood Reaper, unfortunately.
Very true, but he would be out of data range at that point.
Good point.
All right, let's see where the last 2 units move. Nova Cat A stands still, doesn't move at all.
Don't do that.
I don't know if that's the play, although the Nova Cat A is unscathed. A lightning attack hovercraft, where are you going? Up north to charge at the Pack Hunter. All right.
He went over the water.
All right, that's exactly what I wanted to see. Utilize your motive advantage.
So he stood still to shoot the elementals, not to try to go after the Blood Reaper. And that's fair, because he can get tiebreaker points. He removes an initiative sink, and he removes something that could potentially do a lot of crit seeking. So, okay, I see where he's going now.
Yeah, and hey, 20 points is 20 points, even if you're only killing a couple 100 points worth of elementals.
True.
All right, so both Nova Cats unloading into those elementals, Pack Hunter and Lightning Attack Hovercraft exchanging fire. 3 units on Matt's side are not firing a single thing. Let's get into the combat log.
All right, so first up, we've got the Nova Cat A nails another trooper, killing him outright, number 4. Number 1 through 3 is still unscathed.
Yep. So that had to be the trooper that got tagged last round, which is unfortunate. Instead of spreading the damage out, he's just straight up losing a dude. Lightning misses the 9s on the medium pulse lasers, misses one of the streaks on 11s, but hits with the second one, plinks him for 4 damage. Right leg and left leg each take 2. Nothing
I,
spectacular there.
I wouldn't be too sad about it though, because those elementals, they got hit by the Novacat B, but he needed 9s, and what's he rolling? 7, 6, 8, 6, 5, 5. I don't know what zip code that is, but definitely the elementals are unscathed because of it.
Yep. It must be a no missile zip code over there. Dry County for missiles. Speaking of the elementals, they return fire onto the Nova Cat B. They destroy the right arm, which is great. That is 3 LRM 15s out of the game off of 3 damage hit from that AP Gauss rifle.
Nice crit seeking.
Yep, that's they're earning their money's worth right there.
Pack Hunter, though, decides to fire those ER micro lasers, which is the right move, and needed 10s, unfortunately, but it scored twice on 11s, stunning the crew, but not. It was a through armor critical that hit the crew.
Yeah, through armor crit to the left side, apparently. That is not good for the hovercraft. Speed is life, and you will not have the speed to maintain your life next turn, I'm sure, after being stunned for 1 round.
Well, the only good news is that the Pack Hunter is trying to retreat with the data, and he moved the Royal Hovercraft to an area with a lot of elevation changes, so he might be able to somehow get behind something.
Hopefully, he can get some cover from that pack hunter, or the pack hunter will do its namesake and chase him down, depending on which order they move. We'll have to see next round. As far as heat, nothing standing out. Nova Cat at 2, Nova Cat A at 2, I should say. Nova Cat B at 3. Everything else is zeros across the board. And it looks like finally Raiden wins initiative, so Matt's going to have to move first. 2 units this time. Let's see what Matt does. So here we are into the next round. Crew stunned on the lightning attack hovercraft. And the Jenner moves up for a lot. Ooh, that is a big run through at least 2 forests.
Good job, little Jenner.
Getting back, not quite in engagement range. He's still hiding behind a level 2 hill as of right now.
I wonder if he was doing some sort of math calculations to get within 5 of where he wants to go next turn.
All right, it looks like the elementals jump back to the other side of the hill into the forest, away from those Nova Cats that just tore into them last turn.
Well, it's a smart move because one more elemental being hit, and it can no longer carry the data. So at least here it can. Well, let's count that: 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12. It's going to be like 5 turns, but eventually it can score another point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as he can get some value out of it. 10 points is 10 points. There we go. Looks like... actually, I'm sorry, I forgot the rolls for this round. Nova Cat B has data this round. Nova Cat A rolled a 5 and does not have data again. So the Nova Cat B is turning back, heading for the forest, heading to the cover, getting toward the edge of the map so we can start scoring.
I think he might be, the way he's facing, I think he's lining up to beeline it straight from his current facing towards the edge of the map, because if he moves 6, 2, 3, he can make it in 3 turns.
Yeah, which isn't a bad run.
Because he'll get behind some cover there, the level 2s. Yeah, it'll be all right. And what long range weapon does Matt have at the moment? He's got SRMs, he's got battle armor with AP Gauss, and he's got a Flashman with Inner Sphere Large. He's not going to be able to catch up.
No, he's relatively safe. That, and I don't think his rear armor has been hit too much, maybe a little bit by those elementals, but nothing to be too concerned about.
Well, and he can torso twist along the way to sort of kind of give some indirect fire support.
Yeah, that too. Flashman moves up behind some forest, closing the gap. Had to turn around, do a full 360, and run back this way a little bit. It's going to be another 2 turns before he can get in scoring range again. But he should be able to engage by next turn. Maybe some shots this turn at extreme range if that Nova Cat decides to come south for some reason.
There goes the Blood Reaper making a run for it into cover, which again is the best move for it. So unless that Nova Cat gets up in that hex in 1612, which I don't think it has the movement to do, that Blood Reaper is home free to score.
If he ran a straight up 6 hexes total, which would only get him 3 real hexes, he could get to 1613 and get some shots on the Blood Reaper.
Oh yeah, I
But
forgot why he did that math.
yeah, but he'll be exposing himself, so that's a risky play. Oh, he does the next best thing and goes up to 1714. The Blood Reaper is going to have 1 hex in the way of woods for sure. Maybe 2. I'm going to say only 1 from the looks of it, though.
Looks like just one. So
Yeah.
targeting computer balances that out. Blood Reaper probably didn't move that far, so he's got a 1 target movement modifier. That's medium range, so and he probably ran that, so 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's probably got 8s to hit him there.
Yeah, which is not a bad number to hit on, all things considered.
Rear arc at that.
Yeah, definitely looks like rear arc from there. Oh, there we go. Lightning trying to make it around to that level 1 hill, but not quite making it there. I think that Pack Hunter can just straight up follow him, really, and get a rear shot on him.
Oh yeah, Pack Hunter can go jump in the island there in the middle of that lake, and that's a rear shot. And then he can just make 1 more jump to get into the scoring range. He doesn't have to follow the hills, and there you go.
Yep, jumps up adjacent to the forest. He's not quite in scoring range, but he's only a hex or 2 out of it this turn. But he does have that rear shot on the lightning, and it looks like the Blood Reaper, the Jenner are unloading into the Nova Cat A, which is still unscathed, and the Nova Cat A is returning fire on the Jenner 2C. Let's take a look at the combat log.
Throw enough dice. Nova Cat A there, 2 large lasers hitting the center torso of that Jenner, which surprisingly doesn't explode it immediately. So
Yeah,
structure left.
failed the critical hit roll, but barely alive. Not a good look for the Jenner. Blood Reaper fires a single ERPPC at the Nova Cat and misses, needing boxcars to hit.
And the Jenner didn't really do anything. Streak 6s and, or sorry, SRM 6s and Streak 4. Needed 12s. Not surprising.
Yeah, a lot of missing there. Uh-oh. Pack Hunter.
Oh, no.
15 damage hit with the ERPPC to the right rear or rear section of the Lightning Hovercraft, and it is done for. 15 damage is enough to destroy the section.
That's unfortunate. I'm seeing a lot more red though, so let's see. This Jenner 2C needs a 6 to stay standing. It rolls a 5, falls on his right side. 4 damage to that center torso, which only has 4 left.
No, not again.
Didn't stack pull, but Kangaroo is now out of the fight. Kangaroo has fainted. Choose your next Pokemon.
Yeah, falling on your 4 health left center torso for 4 damage is just... Oh, man. Poor Matt. Again, doesn't go his way. And speaking of not going his way, initiative for round 7 goes Raiden's way. Again, 2 in a row this time.
So let's take a second and look at the points here. So Matt has scored, 2? So he's up 20. Raiden hasn't scored anything yet for objectives, so we're at 20 to zip. But combat-wise, Matt is at 20 for the VTOL kill, and Raiden is at 60. I mean, you've got some losses in there, so once you take those out, math gets funky. But fact is, at this point, even though he's not scored any objectives, Raiden is currently, in the lead here.
Yeah, and he's set to score 10 points, so he'll be up another 10, up to 70. Of course, not counting any subtractions for unit losses. But as of right now, Raiden is in the lead currently at the halfway mark of this game, pretty much.
Yep, which only just occurred last turn with those Jinner and Royal Hovercrafts getting kaboomed.
Yeah, it was pretty close up until that point, and then just all of a sudden, Matt lost 2 units in the same turn. Getting some deja vu from round 1. Are you there, Pirate?
Oh, yeah, this is it's funny because usually the games are pretty close until there's that one turning point, and I think those 2 units getting squished is gonna flip it here.
All right, Elemental's jumping back for 3 from one Forest Hex to another Forest Hex, staying in
They're
cover.
making a run for it.
Yep, they're heading for the edge of the board. We'll see if they have enough time to make it there before they get picked off.
But now you've got this Flash Man is going to have to duel with a fully armed, stationary targeting computer, large laser Nova Cat.
I don't know if that Nova Cat's going to stay stationary for very long. He did roll a 9 this turn for data. So finally, after 3 or 4 turns, he's got data.
Fighting retreat.
That's right. He's more than likely going to back up for 4 and be... Oh, never mind. He turned and backed up for 3. And there we are. He backs up for 3, going to the south instead of going to the north with the Nova Cat B like he thought he would. Maybe he's trying to get some shots on the Flashman as he makes his attack run toward the center, or the Blood Reaper.
I mean, I like that move. I would like to think that I would be smart enough to do that as well, because so if he's up 60, then with one loss in there, he's probably capped out his combat score. Realistically, if he also gets these units in and scores 30, he'll be up to 90. So he's in a pretty good position to win the match. So just doing that fighting retreat, you don't even need the Nova Cat to get back up there. So just backing up all the way to the board edge is probably the best move here. And he has a decent shot at that Flashman.
Very true. The Flashman's going to have to expose himself to some fire. He is, like you mentioned, maxed out on combat score at 60 for the time being. You can only take 50 of those with you. I'd like to see him prioritize the actual objective points more to get as much score as possible for placement in the tournament purposes. If he would have moved back up here, he would have had more of a clear path to retreat, and he would have had more units to help cover his rear. But all said and done, it's not a bad spot to go. He's got another route to bail from on the south side right here around this hill. So they're pretty much equivalent. He's just choosing to split up his forces for some reason.
That Pack Hunter will be back soon enough.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got one more turn. He's got to score this round. So let's see what the next move is. It's going to be Matt because they're down to 3 units apiece. And the Blood Reaper's making his scoring run. Just moving up for as much as he can, getting closer to that board edge. He's only 1 hex out, or maybe 2 from the looks of it.
I'm loving the cinematic Kill Bill camera here, though. Good job on the editing.
There we go. Had to zoom in a bit. People were having a hard time seeing last time, so making it as visible as possible. The Nova Cat B moves up behind those forests, following in the Pack Hunter's footsteps. He's making his scoring run.
I mean, it's safe. I guess he's worried about it getting killed somehow, but it's going to be an extra 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah, I think he's just maybe he can get some indirect fire if he spots with the Nova Cat. That might be why he's angling in that direction. He does still have 3 LRM-15s ready to go. All right, Flashman is going to be the last unit moved for Matt. And he moves up into the forest behind level 1 cover, giving him as much defense as possible. Although I don't think that's actually level 1 cover. Sorry. He's not adjacent to it.
No, but you know what's going to happen. That Nova Cat's going to blow the Flashman's head off, and then he's going to fall. He's going to crush the elementals and the wreckage.
Oh, yeah, he's going to stack pull. Take out the elementals with him.
That'd be even worse.
All right. Pack Hunter does a 2-hex jump for 10 points to score, assuming he survives this round, which he should because there's no possible way to hit him from this far away. Nova Cat unloading into what looks like the Flashman because I don't think he can see the elementals. Or if he can, I don't know if it's worth the shot. Although maybe it is to get him in forced withdrawal if he connects. And the Blood Reaper and Flashman returning fire on the Nova Cat A that still has yet to take any damage from the looks of it.
That Novacat B though didn't do any indirects, so maybe he estimated it wasn't worth it to spot.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, the targeting computer will cancel out the penalty for you, but the targeting numbers might have been too high for the Novacat to make it worthwhile. Speaking of the Novacat A, connects on the Flashman for 8 damage to the right torso. Other than that,
Flip,
misses with 9s and 11s.
you're good. I was gonna say flip that. That was the Flashman to the Novacat.
Oh,
But
I apologize. Flashman to the Novacat. Thank you, Pirate.
yeah, you're all good. The Novacat though, in return, 4 large lasers, only one of them hits, and because they are not the discount bargain hunt superstore elementals, they take the hit.
That is good news for Matt. Only one of those connected, and I don't think he's got any damaged troopers as of yet. But spreading that damage out, staying alive, and keeping that data. Hopefully, that's 10 more points on the board for him in the next coming rounds.
Blood Reaper takes its shot, but needs 12, rolls a 3. That's what's going to happen.
And the AP Gauss rifle from the Elementals from downtown, that's a long range shot for Elementals. Misses with the 9. So, again, the Nova Cat remains unscathed from the looks of it. Can't believe it. About 5 rounds and nothing hitting. No heat for anything. And Matt loses initiative again. That's 3 in a row, I do believe. Not counting the streaks, though. Are we? Maybe we are.
Uh, Realistically, it's so unscathed that Clan Warrior is just going to go tell some bondsman to go clean it off later. He's not too worried about it.
Yeah, it just got a little bit of dust on it. No real updates after the last round. So let's get into movement right away.
Raiden gets the initiative with a 12 to a 3.
Oof. The Elementals jump for 3. I don't know if that's the direction I would have gone with them. I mean, they can jump, so you can just get over that hill into the forest next turn. But I probably would have went south into the forest this turn. Let's see.
So that Novacat is going to keep backing up.
There it goes. Straight back. Up the hill backwards. That's 2 piling checks, by the way, because he went up 2 different elevation changes.
Was about to say the same thing. 2 piloting checks, which can be risky, but again, he's fully operational. That Novacat B, I may have more concerns with, especially the pack hunter, so we didn't know Jenner himself.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still he's a 3-4 pilot. You still don't want to roll that 2 or 3 and end up biting the dust and being prone for shots from a flashman. It's going to affect you more the next turn than it is this turn. Speaking of the flashman, moves up into scoring range again. Now we're talking into a forest. He'll trade blows with that Novacat this turn, I'm sure. Hopefully he'll be able to land something. As of right now, his pilot name should be Airball.
Oh, and if that Flashman can get data and run it back, and the Blood Reaper and Elementals don't lose it, he'll max out on objective score.
Yeah, assuming he has enough time to make it back and he doesn't, fall or blow up or anything. Novacat B scooches a little closer to scoring. Looks like he won't be able to make it there next turn. Oh, wait, if he runs, he'll be able to make it next turn.
He'll be able to make it.
Yeah, very true. The B only has a 4-6 movement profile, no jumping for him. And the Blood Reaper, I can only assume, is just going to move for a couple hexes to score. There he is. There, and moves are pretty much playing themselves out now. Only so many options for each player at this point.
The same with the shooting, and the Pack Hunter starts to jump into the fight again there. He's going to make another attack run.
Yep, closing the distance, trying to get more. He's definitely in scoring range for next turn, trying to get more data.
Come on, Flashman. Go pop that center torso of that Pack Hunter.
All right, let's see the firing lines. I mean, they're pretty obvious if you ask me. Oh, Blood Reaper from downtown on the Novacat A probably needs 11s or 12s, and the Flashman and Novacat trading shots. Novacat A, that is. Novacat B and Pack Hunter so far looks like they're not taking any shots, although I assume the Pack Hunter's the last unit to fire, which means we won't see it in the screenshot, but he'll be unloading onto the Flashman with that ERPPC. Let's get into the combat log.
All right, Flashman first up here. It's got 3 larges. It skims the left arm of the Novacat, and that's all she wrote.
There we go. Finally, at least they scratched the damn thing. And the return fire from the Novacat A isn't much better. Needs 7s across the board for all 4. Only hits 1 by rolling boxcars. The other 3 miss. Beating the odds there in favor of Matt this turn.
And the Blood Reaper is just screaming from the other edge of the board. Needs 12s, but it took the shot for 2 PPCs.
And if he's got the heat sinks to sink it, no harm, no foul. Just go for the Hail Mary, you never know. And the same for the Pack Hunter. 10s on the ERPPC, whiffs on the Flashman. Pretty quick round for firing. Novacat A's up to 2 heat. Nothing else to really write home about, other than Matt loses initiative again for the 4th time in a row.
Well, the Novacat A generated 52 heat, so the fact that it can sink 50 of it's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, he can only generate 2 heat by jumping, which means he jumped last turn, which is probably why the Novacat had such, or the Flashman had such terrible shots. All right, looks like the Novacat B vanished off the map. Whoops, cameraman made a blunder there, but he probably just moved up into scoring range, along with the Blood Reaper moving up closer into engagement range, making another attack run. So, keeping tally now, Matt's up to 30 objective points after the Blood Reaper scored.
Now I'm hoping that Novacat A reverses again. There you go. So he must have gone down the hill. Or no, he would have jumped.
Yeah, he's got a 4 jump, so utilizing it there to get some distance. Also, maintaining a firing line to the objective area and the southern portion of the center of the map, right where the Flashman wants to retreat out of. Speaking of retreating, the Flashman rolled a 7, so he's got data again.
Get out of there.
Yep, get out of there, Dallas.
That Pack Hunter is going to stay maneuverable until it knows the center is safe. So it's not going to be a threat.
All right, Elementals jump for 3 more, closer to the edge into a forest. They should be pretty much untargetable, or so far away that they're extremely difficult to hit. Oh, Flashman moves up to the north. I think that's the same exact move he did earlier after he got data. If it worked for you once, go for it twice, I guess. I don't know if the Novacat will have line because there's a level 2 hill that might possibly be in the way.
So Pack Hunter, turn, get off that hill, run, and see if you can get in the rear arc of that Flashman, because you only have to move 5 hexes, I think, in order to get a rear shot there. Maybe 6.
Well, he can jump for 7 and get in the rear if he really wants to.
Oh, yeah, but why give yourself that extra +1 penalty if you don't need to?
No, he's definitely fast enough to make the run. Let's see what he does with them. Although, I don't think he'd be in scoring range if he went for the rear arc on the Flashman. Although, he could get right up on it.
Oh.
Looks like he jumps straight to the middle to get into scoring range, not prioritizing damage on the Flashman, which, to be fair, he is already currently maxed out on points for scoring.
That's correct. And the way he jumped there, he's going to have heavy woods in between that Flashman that probably ran. So with a 4 gunnery skill, you're already on 8s before your range. And then 9, 10, 11, that Pack Hunter is safe.
Yeah, the Novacat B scores for another 10 points for Raiden, so he's up to 20 now on the objective end. Let's see if there's any shots even worth taking this turn. Oh, the Novacat B from downtown threw at least 1 hex onto the Flashman, and the Flashman onto the Pack Hunter. I can only assume the Pack Hunter's returning fire. The Novacat has no line. He torso twisted, trying to find one, and couldn't get it.
Let's see if the prophecy comes true about that Flashman with the medium laser to that Pack Hunter center.
Let's get in the combat log.
Oh
no. Well, nothing too terrible, just a whole lot of missing. A full turn of whiffs, needing 11s and 12s, and a 9 that the Pack Hunter missed. But, I mean, you got the shots, you take them, even if they're not great. Everybody's still heat neutral. That was a quick firing round. No change in status. Let's get into the next turn. All right, I didn't catch who won initiative this turn. Let's see who moves first. It'll be a little surprise. And it looks like it's Matt, which means he lost initiative for, I guess, the 5th turn in a row.
Those elementals are making a run for it. So not this turn, but next turn they'll be scoring.
Yeah, they're 1 turn away from being... He's 1 turn away from being 40 points up on the board for objectives.
And this turn, you either back up that Novacat more, or you really start advancing the Novacat B to try to get in range again, because he knows that Novacat B is going to start moving that direction. So why use a surprise?
Yeah, the Novacat A just turns tail and runs for his edge of the board. He's 1 hex out from scoring this turn, So next turn, he will likely just scooch one more hex, turn around, and set himself up to move back out the following round. So he's basically out of the firing order for 2 turns because of that big hill in between him and the middle area.
But we have the 30 objective points at least.
Very true. Every point counts. Blood Reaper moves up behind hills, making another attack run on the objective. Nova Cat B moves up a little bit, lining himself up to get closer to the center of the map. Flashman still needs to move, and so does the Pack Hunter. We'll see where the Pack Hunter decides to go. Flashman makes the obvious dash toward the edge. If he can survive one more turn, I think he can make it to the edge next turn. It's the same move he pulled earlier. So he'll be real close to maxing out his objective score this turn.
Now that Pack Hunter get the data.
Oh, actually, let me check my notes. Yes, it did. Pack Hunter rolled an 11 for data.
Oh, get out of there, Hunter.
Yep, you don't need to stick around. You need to score yourself some points. Not only that, but yep, he just turns around and jumps for 7 to get into some woods.
Well, that plus that Blood Reaper could hit him, but now he's got 4 intervening woods minimum. He's not going to.
Yeah, I don't think there's any firing this turn. And no, there was not. I'm pretty sure. Yep, end phase for round number 10. No shots fired. Heat phase, everybody's neutral. And getting into round number 11, Matt loses initiative yet again. And
damn, dude.
Just in case anybody thought I was lying, here's the combat log. In case anybody was wondering.
I mean, that wasn't a bad roll. It's a 6, but still.
Yep, can't catch a break. Flashman scores. Matt is now maxed out on objective points, if I'm not mistaken. It's his second round of scoring with the Flashman. He scored with the Blood Reaper earlier, scored with the Jenner. He's going to score with the Elementals this turn as well. So that's 2 for the Flashman, 1 for the Jenner, 1 for the Blood Reaper, and the Elementals will be jumping shortly, I guarantee you. Assuming they both survive this turn, which I'm sure they will because the Nova Cat A is in no position to fire. The Pack Hunter just scored again, assuming he survives this turn, because he just jumped all the way back to the edge. 2 turns. Look at that. 1 jump, 2 jump. That's what you want to see for a point runner.
Now, there's a narrow window where that Nova Cat A could get horribly out of position to try to line up a laser shot by going down about 4 hexes from where it did. But, at this point, he doesn't need to. He can line up for getting another shot next turn.
Yeah, it's no need to, get fancy at this point. They're just moving to get points. Only 2 units left to move are the Nova Cat B and the Blood Reaper. Blood Reaper moves up just outside of scoring range. But he does got a little bit of cover and a little bit of woods.
So Raiden only needs 1 more objective run in order to max objective. He's already maxed combat.
Correct. He is looking real good on points for this match. Matt is going to need a miracle to catch up in combat points. He is currently maxed out in objective points. So if he can take out that Nova Cat, he can close the gap a bit.
Now, there is the points for cheese, though. So we don't see their cheese score on this, but there is a potential that with that targeting computer, maybe there's some malice against it. I think that might be targeting computer and pulse lasers.
Yeah, it's only targeting computer and pulse lasers, an automatic -5. And then for each, I think, 20 points of damage you have in pulse lasers, will give you another -5 to your score. Unfortunately, those ER larges do not qualify with that targeting computer.
Don't make it so hard for him. So it's not an unfortunately for Raiden's point of view.
True, but he's up, so it's unfortunate for Matt.
I know. we gotta root for the underdog.
That's right. He's behind, so he gets my vote.
The only reason I called that out is there's a potential that Raiden may want to, let's say, crush some more of Matt's mechs in order to balance out that cheese score, even though he would be maxed out on it. But I'm scrolling around to see if there is one, but I don't think there is for either of these guys.
All right, looks like round number 11, there was no firing. We're getting into round number 12 already, just because it was so uneventful. Nova Cat moving up after scoring. We'll see. It looks like Matt won initiative, so it's starting to swing the other way after about 6 turns.
And remember, we ended the end of round 15, so there's only 3 more rounds left here for Raiden to try to score another objective point if he wants to max out.
Yeah, Pack Hunter jumping up for 7. The Nova Cat A moved up for a full 6 run. Elementals and Flashmen making their way back toward the center. I don't think Matt has enough. Well, actually, Matt's done. Matt has no need to retreat and score points. He doesn't even need to roll for the Blood Reaper next turn. All he needs to do is roll for killing stuff.
Well, that and not be killed, because every kill that he suffers is a -7 that he doesn't need to take if he doesn't have to.
Very true. If he were so inclined, it would be frowned upon, but he could eject all of his mechs right now and end the game. He would lose, but he would save himself some negative points.
Or kite or go behind hills, but I think you fall foul of the don't be a dick rule. So
Yeah, ejecting all your mechs to end the match early is a dick move. Just calling it as I see it.
right, Blood Reaper's got 2 ER PPCs on the Novacat B, who's returning fire with his 3 LRM-15s. We don't even need to get to the log. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
You're right. That's what it is. We'll see if any of them connect using the log. Unfortunately, no, they don't. ATM 6s, ERPPCs, and LRM 15s all whiff, all on nines across the board. Man, 9 is not the lucky number tonight. Blood Reaper generated 3 heat for that whiffle sauce. Let's get into the next turn.
One other thing is, with the NFL variant, the game ends at 20% BV remaining, so 80% destroyed. So they're both at like 45 and 75% BV, so that's probably not going to trigger unless at least 2 mechs explode.
Yeah, the Blood Reaper and the Flashman would likely need to go down for Matt, and the Novacat A and B would likely need to go down. The Pack Hunter's not going to do it. He's not worth enough points, I don't think. Each of those Novacats is worth over 2,000. Flashman runs up, trying to get some lines of fire, exposing himself to return fire, though.
Why wouldn't you? It's pretty much a Flashman, and if you can get a better shot on the Novacat, great. Although you just put a heavy woods between you and him, that other Novacat, which is pretty fresh, is going to take the shot.
Yep, Novacat A moves up onto a level 1 hill. Got a good little sniper nest. He can't see the Blood Reaper from its current position, but he's got clean shots on the Flashman.
Which is not a good place for that Flashman to be about 15 hexes or medium range away.
No, it's not. Elemental battle armor, jump closer. Might as well, if you can get them in range. I don't think you can, but you got to move them anyway, so might as well jump them closer. You never know. Novacat.
Nothing else. Get those elementals up so that the decision has to be made. Do I fire a hard shot on the Flashman, or do I try to take a pop shot of those elementals to finish them off?
Yeah, and get them in forced withdrawal and get those 10 points.
Oh, look at that. Novacat B runs up out of cover. He doesn't have intervening woods now. He's straight up challenging that Flashman to a duel.
Yep, and he is technically in scoring range, although I don't think he has enough time to make it back to the edge, even if he did get data.
He doesn't, because he would need at least 13, 14, 15. He would need 18 movement in a straight line. I don't think he's got it.
No, he's got to turn around. The Novacat B can't jump. I don't think he can make it there. But he can still unload with those 3 LRM-15s. Try and take out another mech. Blood Reaper moves up to the north to that forest hex north of the objective zone, getting himself some cover and getting not clean shot on the Novacat. I think it's going to clip that heavy woods. But he's got a line to the Novacat A anyways.
Exactly. He's got one on the A, and he's got a decent shot wherever the Pack Hunter decides to go.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Pack Hunter is going to jump right into objective range again if he's got enough. Yep, there he is, adjacent to that Novacat B. He's going to be rolling for data next turn for sure. We'll see if he makes it or not.
And that Blood Reaper still has some ATM standard ammo, which has a decent punch against that Pack Hunter.
Yep, and he's not quite in medium range, I don't think, for that. Let's see the lines of fire. Yep, Blood Reaper unloading onto the Pack Hunter, splitting fire onto the Novacat A, Flashman unloading onto the Novacat B. The numbers must not have been there for the Blood Reaper on that Novacat B. If not, you would like to think he'd focus fire to try to take him down, since he's already missing some armor.
Now, why would you fire on the Novacat A from the Blood Reaper, though? Why not just dump everything on the Pack Hunter for an easier shot?
It might not have been an easier shot. The Novacat only moved for 4 hexes total.
Oh, it's true, it's true.
Even though it's at medium to long range. Let's get into the combat log. Nova Cat A lighten up the Blood Reaper. Going internal on the left torso, right torso, left torso again, 4 structure remaining, but not putting him down. At least not yet.
Oh, and look at that. The Blood Reaper, though, ERPPC times 2. It's the right torso and left arm of the Pack Hunter. Was surprised about that shot, but it worked. He's got a PSR immediately after that, but those ATM 6s with extended range ammo, they needed 9s. They didn't do anything.
No, whiffed on the Nova Cat A. Didn't scratch any more of his paint.
I'm seeing lots of duplicate lines. That's not good here.
Uh-oh. Nova Cat B unloads onto the Blood Reaper with his LRM 15s. Cluster hit. Takes 5 damage to the head. 4 armor remaining. Uh-oh. Next cluster. Next LRM 15 down. Cluster hit. Takes 5 damage to the head. 2 internal structure remaining. Critical hit head. Only sensors. Okay.
He's not going to be shooting for crap the rest of the game. And yeah, you've had a head hit, but what about second head hit or gyrosies?
Yeah, and sensors isn't good. Maybe you go for the life support hit at that point. That'd be better. Sensors is going to give him a +2, I do believe, target number to all firing. Speaking of missing, the Flashman needs 10s across the board and a 12 for a medium laser on the Nova Cat B, and again misses.
Well, and the Pack Hunter really didn't do anything. It needed 10s, and it needed a 6 on the RPPC and missed, but then 10s on his micro lasers. It didn't do. Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. Piloting checks. Pack Hunter falls, needs a 5, rolls a 3. There we go. Got some luck heading Matt's way. 3 damage to center torso, 2 internal structure remaining. Fails the seatbelt check, takes 1 hit, but stays conscious.
That's particularly damaging because it means he can't jump next turn, and there's a very angry Flashman very close to him.
Very true. He's going to have to spend movement getting up. He can still run for a lot, so he may be able to score if he survives this next turn. Blood Reaper needs to make an 8 piloting check, rolls 7, and falls. Takes more damage to the left arm, 6 internal structure remaining there, not looking good. And another 2 to the right leg. Fails his seatbelt check, takes a damage. He's up to 3 hits because he just got double tapped in the head. But he makes his consciousness check on an 8 with needing a 7, rolls an 8. So he's still in the fight.
I like that mech so much now. I think any mech that takes 60 plus damage and still isn't, horribly mangled needs to just be, automatic win now.
Yeah, that's 2 games in a row. This Blood Reaper has taken a beating and weathered the storm. Definitely adding him into my short list. He was on the short list already after the last match. He's on the shorter list now. All right, let's get into the next turn and see where they go. Blood Reaper's prone. Pack Hunter's prone. Pack Hunter gets up and backs up. Pack Hunter is currently in forced withdrawal, actually. Now that he's taken all those internal hits, he can no longer score, which means I think Raiden is locked in at 40 points for objectives because those Nova Cats are not making it back in time.
Well, and it's he didn't jump, so his CMM there is going to be 2.
Yep, Blood Reaper is prone. We'll see if he gets up. Hopefully he makes his piloting check. Elementals jump up a little bit closer. 1 more turn, and I think they'll be in range. Nova Cat A moves up for better shots.
That Blood Reaper can just do a careful stand. Why is he moving that way? You could have done a careful stand and pointed somewhere better.
Yeah, he could have turned and got brought all of his weapons remaining to bear on that Pack Hunter. Maybe he used careful stand but didn't aim himself after he used get up and ran out of movement. Maybe he didn't mean to use careful stand. I don't know. That may have been a misplay, or he may have just wanted to get the match over with and just stood up as fast as he could. Flashman needs to move, as does the Nova Cat B. Nova Cat B backs up, not wanting to take more fire from the Flashman. Flashman runs up into melee with the Nova Cat A. That's what you like to see. Going for broke, baby.
Kick him.
Kick him while he's up. That way he'll be down for next turn. And there's the firing lines. Nova Cat A unloading into the Flashman. They're going to be trading blows at point blank range. Nova Cat B and Pack Hunter drawing lines to the Blood Reaper. Blood Reaper drawing lines through the heavy woods into the Nova Cat A. I don't know if that was his only shot, but it might have been from the looks of it because he torso twisted. He may not have been able to reach the Nova Cat or the Pack Hunter.
Well, even then, the Flashman, you don't. Yeah, if you knock over the Nova Cat, sure. And I mean, the Pack Hunter's in force withdrawal, so you do score 10 points for that. But I'd almost like to see the Flashman fire at the Pack Hunter and then kick the Nova Cat A.
Yeah, that's 20 points if you can bring down that pack hunter. You need all the points you can get at this point, even for further standing in the tournament.
Now, here's the problem with the Nova Cat A. It's not like a PPC boat. It has no minimum range on top of that targeting computer. So that Flashman was fast, but Nova Cat A only needed sixes and connected with 3 out of the 4, including 1 to the center torso. So that's a 30 damage as an automatic PSR right there.
Yep, that's a solid hit right there from the Nova Cat A. Unfortunately for Raiden, Matt's Flashman was pretty much fresh. He may have gotten shaved off a little bit earlier, but it's not going to do anything major. Blood Reaper. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I didn't even think about it for the Blood Reaper. It had its sensors hit, so if it was +2 or +4, he might have just been standing that way to protect his side arc. So maybe there was a torso he didn't want hit.
Also true. He doesn't want to lose any more points than necessary. That could be one of the considerations. Not necessarily a misplay, an actual logical move to protect your torso. Speaking of which, the Blood Reaper, with that sensors hit, needing 11s on the Nova Cat, whiffing all 4 shots that he took this turn.
Well, in the Nova Cat B, though, it definitely didn't whiff. It got a through armor crit, hitting a structure. Need a 7, rolled an 11, and, well, took out an ATM 6, but that Blood Reaper is still standing.
Yep, he's short one weapon, but he's still in the fight. Next up is the Flashman. Let's see if he can get anything done. Oh, no.
He does do 16 damage to that Nova Cat, so not enough for PSR, but that was a lot of 8s that he did not 8.
Nope. Out of all of those 8s that he needed to roll, he only hit 2 of them. But at least they were on the large lasers, so you can be thankful for that. Pack Hunter nails the Blood Reaper in the right torso, takes 15. He is now short of torso. 7 damage.
Wow.
Yep. Critical, apparently. 7 damage transfers to the center torso.
Still got plenty of center torso armor somehow. I don't know how he has 15 center torso armor still. Damn.
Yeah, man, that thing is a wall of steel. Good lord. Weapons fire for the elemental battle armor. They're barely in range, apparently. Need 10s, and they connect. Takes out an ER large laser on the Nova Cat A. So those elementals putting in a little bit of work where they can. Oh.
There's his rolls.
Unfortunately, the Flashman falls, so he doesn't even get to kick the Nova Cat. That is bad. Needs a 5, rolls a 4. Oh,
Nova
man.
Cat's in range of the Flashman, though, isn't he?
Yes, he is. So he's going to turn around and bonk him one. The Flashman's still pretty healthy, but you never know. He could just kick his head off once he's prone. Also, bad news for the Blood Reaper. Falls, needing a 6, only rolling a 3. Takes some more damage, loses his left arm from the fall damage. So, not looking good there.
It's like the Black Knight, you know. Oh, lose an arm. It's just a scratch. I'm a Blood Reaper. Nobody cares.
And here's the kick from the Nova Cat A. Takes 14 damage to the left torso. Flashman is still okay. 14 internal structure remaining. No crit on that kick there. Unfortunately.
I can respect that Blood Reaper. He brought up the 50 heat. He sank 30 of it. He's at 26 heat this time and just barely avoids a ammo explosion, but he needed a 10 to avoid a shutdown.
Yeah, that Blood Reaper's done for firing because next round is round 15. That was his last turn to make something happen with it. Flashman is prone and at 11 heat, so he's not in a good spot either. I think that was his last Hail Mary for Matt. Let's get into the next round. The turns are pretty much going to play themselves at this point.
I hope there's not a Nova Cat with a targeting computer in short range of the Blood Reaper.
It might be if he decides to move up on him. I'm not sure who won initiative. We'll find out real quick. Okay, I don't think it matters. Looks like Matt lost because the Pack Hunter still has not moved. The Flashman got up, used careful stand, and didn't go anywhere from the looks of it. Looks like he just torso twisted to get shots on the Nova Cat and a Hail Mary shot onto the Nova Cat B that's a lot further away from him. Although the elementals are going to be able to get some decent shots on the Nova Cat A, nobody's firing at the Blood Reaper as of right now.
That's a bit of an odd one because you would have thought the -4 to hit, unless he's thinking, hey, you know what he might be thinking is he's in force withdrawal. If I kill the Flash Man, though, I can get 20 points instead of the game ending for being under 20 by finishing off the Blood Reaper for only 10 more.
Yeah, this
But
is the last
then again,
turn.
he's already maxed out, though, so.
Yeah, at this point, he's basically just needs to play defensive and hope Matt doesn't get any lucky shots. Combat score does nothing for him at this point.
True. Maybe I just like min-maxing the combat scoring, but you're right, he's already made it.
And it looks like that must have been the last round. Let's look at that last round of combat in the combat log and see if anything spectacular happens. If there's any change in points.
Elemental finally came in. They got a through armor crit and took out a hip and a foot on the Nova Cat A.
All right, I'm just going to come out and say it. Those elementals have been probably Matt's MVP. They're the only things that have been hitting consistently throughout this whole game.
Well, you got the Nova Cat A there. Some more large lasers. They don't really do much of anything other than cause a PSR on the Flash Man.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already pretty banged up. The only thing he can do right now is take points away from Matt by destroying units for him, or destroying some of his units, which he does with the Pack Hunter. As we scroll down, takes what is that? A micro laser? No, ERPPC, left arm, transfer the left torso, which is not there. Which is there and is destroyed. 11 damage transfers to center torso. Destroyed by engine destruction. Looks like he has a Inner Sphere XL or a Clan XL and took an engine hit earlier.
They had to have because he's got 2 in the torso.
Okay, yeah, so he had to have taken an engine hit sooner. All right, Nova Cat falls. Nope, no ammo explosion or anything spectacular there. I think that's going to be the end of it. Matt made his Hail Mary the previous turn, and it's the end phase. Nova Cat A ended up with 0 kills. Nova Cat B ended up with 0 kills. Pack Hunter coming in clutch.
Oh my gosh.
Sniper with an ERPPC and a micro laser comes in with 3 kills. And wait a minute, look at that. Oh no, okay, never mind. Elemental Battle Armor did not get any kills from the looks of it.
No, I think the way it counts those is it may be like if it's destroyed by engine destruction or something like that, like the Jenner falling and blowing himself up, it won't count those.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it looks like Matt got the full 50 for objectives this turn. Or, well, this match, I should say. So he's sitting at 50 for objectives, and he did get 20 points for taking out that Donner. He's going to have some negatives, of course, for losing most of his units.
Yeah, so you're going to back that 50 back down to about 22?
Yeah, I think so, because he's he's negative 28, so he'll drop the 50. So the 20 goes away because he's at negative 28 from losing, 4 units?
Well, no, he still gets, yes, you're right. So the 20 gets reduced by 28, so he's at -8. So you're at 50 minus 8. That'll finish Matt with 42, if we did that math right.
Yes, that's my assumption. He should be at 42. I don't think he's got any cheese score.
He doesn't. I looked it up on the side, and that just happens to be the answer to the ultimate question. So good job, Matt.
And for Raiden, it looks like he maxed out on combat score with 50, and he's got 40 for objectives. He didn't quite have the speed to get that last one. Fortunately for Matt, he was able to stop that Pack Hunter from making his last attack run by putting him in force withdrawal. But that's a solid win for Raiden, and that is actually 42 points is not bad for Matt, considering he was playing that whole match down a unit. That Ryukin got blowed up on turn 2 from a headshot from the Pack Hunter. All things considered, I think Matt put up a hell of a fight after that devastating loss early in the game.
There were several times in that game where, it could have flipped. And I don't say that passively, one good roll here or there and, knocking over that Pack Hunter sooner or finishing off its center torso, doing something more with that Nova Cat B that had damage. And those Nova Cats took a while to score in the middle or get the objective. So yeah, it was uphill battle for Matt, as you mentioned, but it wasn't a sure gone for conclusion at all.
No, no, not at all. One thing to note, that Flashman hit maybe 3 or 4 times the whole game. Uh, that's the 2 games in a row where that Flashman just does not want to connect on not terrible target numbers of like 8s and maybe a couple 9s here and there.
Uh, Hell's Horses would like to donate some horseshoes.
Yeah, we need to get Matt a Lucky Rabbit's Foot, a horseshoe, maybe some Lucky Charms if we can find some in his area. Anything we can to get him to not have Mega Mix Dice hate him so much.
Now, I will say Raiden, we talk a lot about Matt, but Raiden did play that very well with his snipers, keeping the target numbers low, making sure his pack hunter, especially after he got walloped, was extremely difficult to hit. And it showed on that pack hunter. 3 kills is very respectable for basically a walking ERPPC. So between that and the hands, if I saw the pack hunter, like I said on the record sheet, I would have said, meh, skip that. But I'm actually kind of digging him now because of the way he was played there.
Yeah, it is pricey for what it does at about 1,500 battle value, but it was scarily effective this match. I've got to hand it to Raiden. He played that well. I wasn't expecting the Nova Cats to make the attack run and get and score. I figured they would just sit in the back and turret and just take pot shots or move up and chase Matt's scores. But it ended up working out for him, making those points runs. It bought him some time to score because Matt was busy scoring himself.
I mean, if you only have 4 units, everybody's got to do full court press. I do appreciate, though, that Matt might be the only person in the tournament so far that actually pursued somebody on the other side of the map. Everyone else kind of got to the middle like they were playing dodgeball and never crossed that line.
Yeah, I will say I do like that move with that lightning attack hovercraft chasing that Donner. That was chef's kiss right there. Perfect. All right, Pirate. I think that about wraps it up. You have any closing thoughts in this game or anything you want to say to the players or anybody else out there for the MRC?
I mean, I said it up front that Blood Reaper tanked last game. It tanked this game. I got to look into that more. So, Blood Reaper, Pack Hunter, 2 mechs I would have probably never played unless I was just looking on the MUL and going, oh, what's this do? So, good to see them actually played by people who know how to use them. Outside of that, this was a really fun mission. I do really like this one, and I'm excited to see it being more involved with the MRC so that we can just stop playing, kill each other. It's nice to actually have a different type of game type. So this was great. Love to see people playing it and understanding it. And, the more people we can get playing, the more we'll see more mechs coming in that we've never really, evaluated in a competitive setting.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. We need to definitely get more games. I do like this scenario. One touch I do like is that it's not a guaranteed that you download the data. You have to get to the objective and you have to make that roll. So you can't just plan out your whole combat strategy. There's RNG involved. And if you have an active probe, you can mitigate it to an extent. Active probes don't really do much for a mech other than take up tonnage. We do play with the optional rule where it reduces the forest penalty by 1, if I remember correctly. But outside of that, it doesn't come up all that often. And if you've got an active probe, it's nice to have a use for it. I do like the rolling aspect, though. That's probably one of the better things about this mission. Anything else you want to say? Closing arguments? Shoutouts?
Good game to both gentlemen playing this. That was probably a very difficult one to not just be totally demoralized after that Stormcrow, but good game to both of y'all.
Yeah, well played, both players. Hopefully we can get more MRC games in for you guys. I think I've got a match lined up, already recorded for round 3. We're going to do it a little bit different round 3. I am not going to watch going into this. Round 3 is a little special. You want to give them a sneak peek for what round 3 is next week, Pirate?
Round 3 is a city fight with double blind.
Double blind, which means Pirate and I will both be going into it blind. So we'll be watching it and fast forwarding through the footage and calling the shots as we see them.
Blindly.
Yeah, which means we might miss something here and there because it's blind. So hopefully it'll be interesting for you guys next week. Something to look forward to. I'd like to thank the MRC, all the players in the tournament, Vapor for running it, of course, Pirate for joining me here, and all the other BattleTech community members out there. I'm doing this for you guys, and so is Pirate. Thank you. Thank you all. Pirate, anything last?
Adios.
Later, guys.